Hello, time travelers. It's Jen. How are you doing? I really appreciate your support and your membership. And I want you to know that I do pay attention to the readings that I release for you. I know that you're 12 short, so this is going to be your bonus reading here. We're going to take a look at something that Source wants you to focus on at this time, okay? And I'm going to begin with Aries, work my way around the zodiac wheel here, ending at Pisces. Timestamps will be in the description box. I've set the intention of this reading to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, so you're welcome to look at any or all of them. And if you don't know what those placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Also, you know the rule. It's a collective general reading, so as the messages come through today, just take what fits, leave what doesn't. Because if it's not your message, it simply means that it's someone else's. And don't forget to check out your other placements. Also, at the end of this reading, I'm going to do a collective general reading for everyone watching. And I think that's everything that I want to say. Again, I apologize for the delay in getting out the bonus reading. I just was swamped here with horrible winter weather. And I finally come through it. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to do that bonus reading. So, all right, without any further delay, here we go. Oh, one more thing. Please keep in mind, I'm a Gemini. We are now pre-shadow Mercury retrograde. So if I stumble on my words or I talk a little too fast or a little too slow, I just ask for your forgiveness ahead of time. Okay. With all of that said, I think that's with all of that said now. All right, let's begin. Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Let's take a look at something that Source wants you to focus on at this time. You have surprise. Okay. Tell me why surprise is something here that Aries needs to focus on. Tell me about surprise here for the Aries collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Aries, we have the Six of Wands. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. And we have the Ten of Cups. Surprise! Bottom of the deck, Eight of Wands, Knight of Swords, and the King of Wands. Wow. Magician, Empress. Look at that. Three of Swords is in the reverse here to the Three of Wands. I think what you're not seeing at this time, what you're not realizing, is some kind of heartbreak here that you're processing or you're healing from, you're recovering from, has actually put you on a new path here towards success. And this could even be something like work related where you thought, I'm never going to be able to complete this project, or I'll never receive this funding, or, you know, I'm never going to find the love partner or something like that. I just feel like something has been difficult for you, or something has recently ended. It left you either emotionally or possibly even financially wounded. Or you felt like there's no way I'm going to be able to get out of this or move forward. No, surprise, you are. You're actually now on path towards emotional contentment and victory. So something that was challenging here for you is actually being turned around in your favor. Okay. Page of Wands. There's information, communication here, opportunity. What is that Page of Wands? Okay. Page of Swords. Information, communication, opportunity. Tell me what this is here for the Aries collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. Get out of town. Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So, Aries, I just want to say, if you've been going through it, okay, because what precedes the Six of Wands is Five of Wands. So maybe there's been a delay in you initiating something, a delay in you getting funding, a delay in you being able to move forward. Maybe with that Three of Swords in the reverse, maybe even like an emotionally difficult time that you're currently, you either just came out of it or maybe you're currently experiencing it. I think what you're not seeing is that there's a breakthrough moment here coming. There's a breakthrough moment. There's opportunity. There's clarity coming. There's a new direction here. So if you thought something was stuck and not progressing, you're completely wrong on that. Surprise, it's about to move forward quite quickly there with that Eight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Wands. You're going to be able to take action maybe sooner than you realize. So something really good here is coming in for you. And if you've had something end or something heartbreaking, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not going to be long before you are feeling better, healing, feeling happier, So yeah, if you thought something was stuck or stagnant, I noticed how I just shuffled your deck. If you thought something was stuck or stagnant, now to your surprise, things are actually going to speed up now and go in your favor. And again, if you're dealing with any kind of heartbreak, I don't think you're seeing right now how that actually was in your best interest. You're going to start feeling better and moving in a new direction quite soon. So if you've been recently rejected, take it as God's protection, because you're now on path towards the 10 of Cups. And if you had something that was stuck or stagnant, something's happening here that it's going to be like the green light for you to move forward. Anything else Aries needs to know about this? One more shuffle. Thank you. 9 of Wands, the Chariot, and the 9 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Cups. Yeah. I don't want to keep reiterating the message, but if you're going through a difficult time, you're healing from anything, hang in there. Keep pouring into yourself. Okay, nurture yourself. Make sure you're getting adequate sleep. Stay grounded. Get outside if you can. Go for walks in nature. Have the sun on your face. You know, if you can't because of the weather, I know here it's been very cold. So you can do stuff indoors, watch funny movies, meditate. Again, continue to nourish yourself, stay hydrated, and meditate. There's a breakthrough coming. You're going to realize why something didn't work out, because there's something better on path now for you. And if you've had anything that's been stuck, it's, again, I feel like there's an obstacle being cleared out. It's like, surprise, things are going to start moving forward again very soon. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. So everything is not as bad, maybe, as you currently may be feeling that it is. One more shuffle here. Thank you. You have the Devil, you have the Emperor, and you have the 3 of Cups. Everything is not as bad. Sometimes that 8 of Swords to the Devil could be like we're ruminating on something that didn't work out. Or again, we're getting stuck on, why did this happen to me? Why did this relationship end? Why did this person say or do this? Or why did they behave this way? And it's just ruminating on the negative over and over again. All of the, you know, what ifs. And there's something here about, don't allow yourself to fall victim to that. Okay, take control of your thoughts here. You have the power to control your thoughts. If you need to process an ending or process something that's been difficult, do what I do. I set a timer. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm going to think about this. I'm going to process it. I'm going to cry about it. And then I'm saying, okay, that's enough, right? Once that timer goes off, I need to get back now to my life, right? My pets, my plants, the people in my life, my other responsibilities. And later on, I'll revisit it again. I'll sit down, set the timer for another, you know, whatever, 10, 20, 30 minutes. And again, I'll process what happened, but don't allow it to consume you. And I think this is what this is trying to tell you. So if you're dealing with anything where you're trying to come out of the 3 of Swords, right? Because we saw it in the reverse there. So you're trying to mend your heart or heal your heart from something that's been disappointing. Don't get stuck in the why did that happen? Take control of your thoughts. Okay, set that timer and focus on partnerships that are happy to you, joyous to you, even if that partnership is just you and your pet or you and yourself. Okay, find the joy in life again. And the best way you can do that is take control of your thoughts and ground yourself. For others of you, there was something here that was stuck or stagnant or currently is, and you could be thinking about like, why am I, you know, why is no one providing me with funding? You know, maybe for some of you, this is like travel plans or plans to relocate or move. And you're like, I don't understand. Why is the lender taking so long to get back to me? Don't think the negative. Again, take control of your thoughts. You have victory coming. Or I put out all these resumes and applications. I don't know why the employer is not getting back to me or giving me that job. You got 2 job opportunities coming. Okay. So again, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whether you're trying to process an ending or process something that's been painful to you, or you're trying to understand why something's not moving in a particular direction, get control of your thoughts, because things are now moving in your favor. Obstacles are being cleared. Okay, so I want you to rejoice, take care of yourself, ground yourself. If something ended, you're going to find out very soon why it had to end. There's something or someone better here. It's like surprise, the universe likes surprise. So I just want to tell you to stay as optimistic as you can. Yes, everything I just said is the truth. Ace of Wands there at the bottom of the deck. So stay as optimistic as you can right now, because the universe is about to surprise you with a blessing. That is what I have for you, Aries, at this time. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And thank you once again for being a time traveler. Until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Taurus, my bull gang. How are you doing? Let's take a look at what Source wants you to focus on at this time. We have hidden potential. Okay. Tell me why hidden potential is something that Taurus needs to focus on at this time. Your deck is very slippery, so I'm hoping that the deck does not fly everywhere when I do this. Okay. I'm going to be gentle with your deck. Let's do that one more time. Why is the hidden potential something that Taurus needs to focus on at this time? I saw the Ace of Cups on the split before, and I just saw the Ace of Cups now on the split. So let's see what we get here. Tell me more about the hidden potential here for Taurus. Something you're not seeing. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Moon. Yeah, something you're not seeing. Four Swords, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands, Six of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. Taurus, I think what you're not seeing here is that the turmoil or chaos or conflict here that you're currently dealing with, it's actually working in your favor. Why is that? Tell me about the Moon card. It's like you can't see it right now. You might be stuck in, why is this happening to me? Why am I enduring this? You know, why am I dealing with financial issues? Or why do I have conflict with this person? But the conflict or whatever it is that you're dealing with is intended to move you in another direction. Tell me about that Moon card. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Moon card, clarified by the Six of Cups, Judgment, and the Two of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, the Emperor, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. Tell me about the King of Cups. Why is the King of Cups here for Taurus? Why is the King of Cups here for Taurus? I think what you're not seeing with this situation, environment, or connection that's been in your life for quite some time, that's causing this Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles in your life. I think what you're not seeing is the reason why you're enduring this is because you're supposed to make a judgment call here, Taurus, to correct something or to balance something out. All right, King of Cups, the Lovers, the Sun, and the Two of Swords. This is what you're not seeing. Hierophant, Nine of Swords, and the Four of Wands. Tell me about the Knight of Wands here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Three of Swords. I knew I felt that. The Wheel of Fortune and the Empress. Wow. Bottom of the deck. I was going to say Prince of Cups. Prince of Cups, Knight of Cups. Okay. Taurus. What you're not seeing here with this situation, environment, or connection that you've been dealing with for quite some time, okay, and has caused you some level of heartache or grief, or even could be, you know, emotional setback here. It was what you're not seeing is the hidden potential of this is for you to move in a new direction, for you to step into your power. Wheel of Fortune to the Empress. I mean, this is huge. This is you saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this basket of lemons and I'm going to create lemonade. I'm going to create something beautiful out of this. There's a hidden potential here. And I know it might not seem like it at this time because you're like, why do I have to go through this, right? Why am I constantly having to get out of the, you know, the argument or the discord or whatever's occurring here in that Six of Swords? I feel like some of you just keep going round and round in that boat and just constantly dealing with conflict and tension and discord and maybe being ghosted or feeling in lack or having financial issues. It's just this round and round and round. You can feel like, why can't I break free? This is your opportunity to break free. This chaos around you, the hidden potential is you're supposed to step into your power, my love, and move in another direction. This could be work-related, the community that you live in, within the construct of a friend group. It could be in a romantic partnership with that Lovers to that King of Cups. I just feel like there's something better or someone better here for you, Taurus, and you're not seeing it. You're blindfolded. I think some of you think that you have to do this over and over again. Like, oh, I can't leave this job, or I can't, you know, find a better job. You know what I mean? Or I can't leave this community. I grew up here. I know everyone here. Or I can't move on from this relationship. So I just keep going round and round and round dealing with this. But no, the potential here is for you to break out of it. For you to break out of it and move towards something better. Or someone better. Tell me about that Six of Swords. I think you're supposed to break out of this, Taurus. I think you're supposed to step into your power. One more shuffle here. Thank you. This is not an obstacle to your happiness. This is supposed to be a catalyst for you to move towards your happiness. Three of Pentacles. Three of Cups. Yes. And the Hangman. Perspective, perspective, perspective. And again, the Knight of Cups here at the bottom of the deck to the Ace of Pentacles. Taurus. There's something here, my love, that you continue to engage in that's actually quite disappointing. Like I said, it could be arguments, conflict, or it's keeping you financially constrained. Like you're staying at a job where they're not paying you adequately. I just feel like you're consistently staying in a situation, environment, or connection that's heartbreaking to you. You're not emotionally content, or you're not emotionally happy. And I don't think that the challenge here is supposed to be for you to endure it or stay in it or wait for it to get better. I think the hidden potential in whatever this crisis here is for you to actively work, see from another perspective. Oh, this is my opportunity to exit. This is my opportunity to find a better job. You know what I mean? This is my opportunity to find a better living situation, or maybe a better roommate, or, you know, better friends, or maybe even a better love partner in the future. So there's something here about the challenge here isn't for you to continue enduring the disappointing situation, environment, or connection. This is not supposed to be a test of your endurance in that respect. It's a test of your endurance of, can you rise to the occasion and in your power and move in another direction? And Source is saying you absolutely do have that. So instead of seeing this as, why do I have to deal with this? See it instead as, oh my God, there's a lot of potential that comes from me exiting or creating a plan to exit whatever this is. Because there's a shiny new opportunity here waiting for you. It's just not in the current situation, environment, or connection that you're currently in, but it's waiting for you just outside of it. So I think that's what you need to see, Taurus. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. Yeah, you don't have to stay stuck or continue to loop around in whatever this is. We have the Emperor. Yeah, I really feel like this is asking you to take control of your life and move in a new direction. Let's get you 3 cards of advice, my friend. One more shuffle. Thank you. Your advice, 10 of Pentacles, the Tower, and 5 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords. Yeah. Your advice here, Taurus, is to not stay focused on the loss or the regret or, again, this disappointing situation, environment, or connection, but instead see it again. The hidden potential is, oh my God, there's a better job out there, there's a better friend group, a better living situation. You know, there's a better romantic partnership that takes you right where you want to be. Whether that 10 of Pentacles is complete and total emotional contentment or financial fulfillment. But this is your aha epiphany moment that you should be having. Or at least that's the message Source is trying to get through to you today. I wouldn't see this as a loss, or it's like a test of your endurance to stay in it. No, I would see this as this is a potential to exit and move towards something or someone that you truly desire or deserve. I think you deserve a hell of a lot better than whatever this situation here has been for you. So yeah, the test of your endurance is not to stay in it, but actually to exit it. I hope that that helps one of you watching. So that is what I have for you, Taurus. That's what Source wants you to focus on at this time. Shifting your perspective, not seeing it as, why do I have to deal with this? But instead looking at it as, well, how can I be savvy enough to exit whatever this is? And that is what I have for you, Taurus, at this time. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, or you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, good luck with this, my friend. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace. Hello, Gemini Twin Gang. Let's see what Source wants us to focus on at this time. We have conflict. Okay. Tell me why conflict is something that Gemini needs to focus on at this time. Just saw the Page of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Why is conflict something that the Gemini collective needs to focus on at this time? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Chariot. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Hanged Man. And we have the Six of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Six of Pentacles. And we've got the Devil. Gemini, I feel like this is very specific for those of you where you want to move forward towards the Ten of Pentacles, but moving towards this puts you in conflict with something or someone who's been in your life for a long time. This is like, I'm going to get comfortable here, Gemini, sorry. This is like having a job opportunity that's like the job of your dreams, right? Or the job you've always wanted, but it would put you in conflict with your family because now you would have to relocate. Or it would put you in conflict with your person because maybe you need to relocate for this job, but they don't want to relocate. So I just feel like there's an opportunity here for you in respect to long-term emotional or financial abundance. But if you were to move in this direction, it would cause conflict, like I said, with something or someone in your life. Tell me about the Six of Cups. Tell me about that Six of Cups. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Six of Cups is clarified by Three of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. Bottom of the deck, King of Cups. Yeah, this is so super specific. This is like something you want to build, create, move towards. You've been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. And now it's like you either have this opportunity or it's about to come in really quick. But again, it's going to put you at conflict here with someone in your life. This could be like a single Gemini who has children, okay? And you're about to meet someone new, or maybe you are currently in a connection, but your children don't like this person, or they won't like this new person. You know, it's like something you've always wanted, or the type of person you've always wanted, but it puts you at odds here. There's someone here who doesn't like this direction that you want to move in, or something that you want to build or create for yourself, or again, maybe a love partner that you want to engage with. And this could even be your current love, you know, you and your current love partner are at odds over something because you want to move in a particular direction and they don't. Knight of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, and the Devil. Why is the Devil there? Why is the Devil there? One more shuffle here. Thank you. This is clarified by the Page of Cups, the Sun, and the Hierophant. Bottom of the deck, Four of Swords. Oh, the Devil is the opportunity. The Devil is the situation, environment, or connection here that you have the opportunity here now to move towards, or like I said, or create for yourself. And it's really tempting. It's real. That Devil card's talking about temptation. So if you're experiencing this, we need to address the conflict. If you're not currently experiencing this, you're about to. So again, some opportunity here is about to land in your lap. It is incredibly enticing. You want to move in this direction. But there's someone here who feels like that if you were to do that, it wouldn't be fair to them, or it would leave them out, or you would be putting your resources somewhere else other than them. So again, this is like being a single parent, and now you meet someone new, and you're like, oh my God, I so want to move towards this relationship. I like this person. It's fun. It's flirty, right? It's passionate. I've waited a long time to be able to have that, you know, Ace of Wands, right? This passionate connection. But you have a kid here. It's like, but wait a minute. You're spending so much time now with this new person. You're not spending a lot of time with me. And so it's going to cause conflict between, you know, you and your child. Or again, you have a new opportunity here to, you know, obtain this job or this promotion, but it requires you to relocate. And your person's like, wait a minute, I'm not ready to relocate. That's not something that I want to do. And you're like, but I really want this. This is the job of a lifetime. I mean, Chariot could even indicate travel or relocation. So again, the feeling here is you're very passionate about, I want to do this. I want to move forward. I want to relocate, right? And your person's like, no, wait a minute, we don't have the money to do that. Or again, I'm not ready to do that. Or I'm going to need more time before we do that. For those of you currently in a partnership, there could be something like you want to take the relationship to a higher level of commitment. You've waited a long time to be able to do this. And your person's like, I'm not ready. There's definitely someone here who feels like either you moving in this direction will reduce the resources you invest in them, time, love, money, talent, commitment, etc., etc. Or you have someone here that's like, you want to move in this direction. And they're like, well, I do too, but not right now. You need to address this conflict. So again, whether it's a conflict with someone who feels like, well, if Gemini does this, I'm going to get less from Gemini. You can't just brush this under the rug and say, well, I'm going to do it anyway. It's like we need to address the conflict. And if this is in regards to like you want to relocate or take this job or move this relationship to a higher level of commitment, and you have family here or you have your partner here who's like, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to do that right now. Again, the conflict needs to be addressed. We can't just pretend like everything's fine. Oh, the kid will eventually like the new person, you know, or my person will finally get on board and we'll eventually get married or we'll eventually relocate. It's like, I don't think you could be passive with this and just assume that whoever's in conflict with you about this decision is going to like suddenly come to their senses. I don't think that's the answer here. Oh, the conflict needs to be addressed. Tell me more about the conflict. Or actually, how can Gemini address the conflict? How can Gemini address the conflict? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Three of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Strength card. Bottom of the deck, Page of Pentacles. There's something here about having a discussion. Pages could talk about discussion. Four of Wands, the King of Wands. There needs to be a discussion here with this individual about how to move forward in this direction. You know, that's really weird. The answer here is not for you to say, I don't want to invest in this, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to date this person. Like, the answer here isn't to capitulate to this other person and say, okay, you don't want to get married, so I'm never going to get married, you know, or you don't want a higher level commitment. Okay, we can just, you know, stay in this non-committed relationship. Or, okay, you don't want me to take the job, I won't take the job. Like, that's not the answer. The answer is here. The answer is, how can you and this person come together, Three of Pentacles, to create an understanding or to create a plan on how to move forward. But the conflict here needs to be addressed. The person's not going to suddenly like whatever it is that you're doing or suddenly go along with it. So a discussion here needs to be had. If this message is resonating for you, not on how we give up on this, how do we achieve this? Or what compromise needs to be made so you can support me in this endeavor, or that we can move forward together in this endeavor? There's a lot of pentacle energy here on the table, and I'm looking at it in terms of like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Like, the Taurus energy could be a little bullish and say, no, I want to do this, or I want us to do this. But then Virgo, high vibrational Virgo, could be like, but let's create a system or plan in that Knight of Pentacles. Let's compromise on this, or let's figure out a way how we can do this together. Or what will make you happy? Okay, mommy or daddy is going to be going out on dates now on Friday nights, but what can we do on Saturday nights then? That's just a you and me day. I remember when I had met Tony, and his kids were very little. It was like post-divorce when I met him. And I think the daughter, especially because she was a couple years older than her brother, she kind of felt like, but visitation weekends were always me and daddy. And now it's me, daddy, and Jen. You know, she used to call me Jay back then before she called me mom. But that was the feeling. Like, oh, now I don't have me and daddy time. Now it's me, daddy, and Jay time. And so what we did was we made sure that when she came over Friday night to Sunday night, there was like a family building time for us. Like we'd watch a movie, or I'd paint her nails, or we would just do something fun with her together, all three of us. But then I allowed them to have their own, you know, father-daughter time. And maybe they would go see his parents and I would stay home. Like I wanted her to know she still had space with dad, that I wasn't infringing on that. So there's something like that here at play where, again, it's not telling you don't date this person who has a kid. It's just saying be mindful of how it's going to impact that kid. Or if it's you with the kid, how is it going to impact your kid? You know, it's not telling you not to take the job, but it's how to sit down with this person, family member, could be a parent you're taking care of. That's like, well, I don't want you to take that job because now you're not going to be around much to take care of me. Again, there's just someone here that feels one of two things. One, if you move in this direction or you participate in whatever this is, you have less resources for them, or they do want to move in this direction with you, but they're not ready just yet. And again, your answer isn't to give up on whatever this is. It's how do we work together to find the compromise? But the conflict needs to be addressed. Sorry if I'm stumbling over my words. Mercury, our ruling planet, is in pre-shadow right now, so I'm fumbling and bumbling my way through the reading. I'm so sorry. I'm not having a stroke, I promise. Not joking about anyone who has had strokes. Please don't take it that way. All right, 3 cards of advice here for Gemini. One more shuffle. Thank you. 10 of Cups. Happiness here can be achieved. Page of Cups, little communication. 7 of Swords. Again, communication. If you think that this person is just going to accept a new person, or accept you relocating, or accept you getting a job, you know what I mean? Accept you giving less to them now because you're focused on something else, you're mistaken. If you think you're going to be able to move forward with this move or this new creative endeavor, and your person's just going to eventually go along with it, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. Like, you're not going to be able to get away with this, so to speak, with that 7 of Swords, because sometimes 7 of Swords could talk about like trying to get away with something. You're not going to be able to get away with this. And what I mean by that is create that Ace of Wands for yourself, or move towards it without having that discussion here with someone. There needs to be a discussion. Like, how do we support this or move towards this? Or again, what is the compromise here that needs to be had so we can both be happy with what's happening here? Or we could create a strategy or a plan that makes both of us happy. And I think you have to take the lead on this, Gemini, or at least that's your advice at this time. So take the lead on having and initiating that conversation, and have some good ideas for that conversation ahead of time. So you can say, I know you're not particularly happy with this, but here are some of my suggestions on how we can come to an amicable, agreement here. Or again, create a schedule or a plan that works for both of us. I think that's your best route at this time. That is what I have for you, Gemini. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to see, there goes Mercury retrograde. If you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. All right, Cancer, I'm stumbling over my words today because my ruling planet of Mercury is now in pre-shadow, so I'm asking for your forgiveness ahead of time. But for right now, my darling, let's see what Source wants you to focus on at this time. You have partnership. Okay. Tell me why partnership is something here that Source wants the Cancer collective to focus on. If you look back at any of my readings during Mercury retrograde, I stumble horribly towards them. I say King of Wands instead of Knight of Wands. I assure you it does not affect the messages that I receive, the channeling, but it does impact what comes out of my mouth. So I'm very sorry. I try to be very mindful of that and catch myself. But yeah, I want to apologize for that ahead of time, because you're the 4th sign in now, and I'm already starting to feel it. Okay, tell me why partnership here is what Cancer needs to focus on at this time. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have Judgment, Hierophant, the Moon, and the 10 of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Justice, 6 of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. 5 of Swords, Queen of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. What's the Judgment call? There's a certain partnership in your life, whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic. Source would like you to make a judgment call. What's the judgment call? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The judgment call. 7 of Cups, 3 of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. There's something here about you making the judgment call that there's a particular partnership in your life that you desire, and your judgment call should be, I'm going to move towards it. You know, if you want a new job, I'm going to move towards a new professional partnership, meaning I'm going to put my resumes and applications out there. 10 of Wands. May not be easy to find a job or another job, but I'm going to do it. And guess what? New professional partnership comes in, right? New opportunity here is presented to you. I really want a love partner. It's time to make the judgment call and say, I want to get out there into the world. I want to discover different ways that I can connect with a romantic partner. It might not be easy. I might have to go on apps. I might have to get out there into the dating world. It's not going to be easy. It's going to require some work, but you do meet someone and it's a balanced relationship. But I feel like sitting home and doing nothing won't, like, the job's not just going to land in your lap if you never put in the effort to get your applications or resumes out there. Or, you know, maybe you want to launch a business, but you're not taking the initiative to do that. And Source is saying, why not? There are partnerships out there waiting to connect with you. You with a new client base or you with a customer base. So there's something here that you desire. Some type of, like I said, professional, platonic, or romantic partnership. It's not 100% easy for you to be able to acquire this or acquire this offer, but it's going to take a little effort on your part, but it's there. The moon. Why is the moon here? And I think you need to be determined, right? The Hierophant energy is Taurus energy. Taurus could be a little stubborn sometimes. So I think it's time for you to say, I want to connect with blank, whatever that blank is. A new job. I want to connect with a vendor. I want to connect with a customer base. I want to connect with a friend. I want to connect with a community group. I want to connect with more friends, you know, or maybe I want to reconnect with my family. I want to connect with a love partner. Again, there's something here. Is it going to be 100% easy? No. Is it going to be worth it? Absolutely. But you need to be dedicated to actively seek out that person, seek out that partnership. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The moon. Strength card, 3 of Cups, and the 9 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. I feel like this is very specific for those of you who are like, what's the point? I think you hold yourself back from partnership. And maybe you're afraid of getting burned again. Maybe you don't want to be used again. Maybe you don't want to work for another employer who's a piece of crap. So you think, well, I'm just going to stay at the job I'm currently at, even though I'm not particularly happy there. Because it's almost giving me the feeling like the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. So maybe I'm better off single. Maybe I'm better off isolating myself, you know. Maybe I'm better off with one friend instead of 10 friends. So I feel like you hold yourself back from a connection or connections in your life that actually would be very beneficial to you because you're replete with worry here or anxiety. Or, you know, what's the point of putting myself out there and trying to find someone new when there's no one out there? No one wants me. I don't think that's the case whatsoever. So the type of partnership or partnerships that you desire, they're out there. There's victory. They're successful and they're balanced and they're right for you. But it's going to require you to let down your defenses a little bit and put in some effort. Grab that Ace of Wands that this individual is holding in the 10 of Wands card and say, I'm going to do this. Even if it takes me a while to find the right job or a job or, you know what I mean? Or the right friend or the right friend group or the right love partner. I feel like this is a testament to your dedication. And you're a very dedicated sign when you want something. So that's why I feel with that 9 of Swords and the Moon card, the reluctancy here seems to be like, I don't want to get hurt again, or I don't want to be disappointed again, or I don't want to be rejected again. But I don't think that's what ends up happening. I think you end up getting exactly what you want. Tell me about the 10 of Wands. Why is this so difficult for Cancer? One more shuffle here. Thank you. King of Wands, the Empress, and the 8 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Magician. Okay, because the last time you thought you were engaged in that type of relationship, it left you emotionally wounded. You walked away, they walked away. You had to quit the job, or they fired you, or something like that. It's like the last time I took interest, I took an active role, and I put myself out there. King of Wands, very much putting yourself out there, whether you're masculine or feminine, and saying, I'm going to birth or create or engage in or nurture this connection. It left you in the Eight of Cups. So there's a reluctancy here for you to engage again. But I feel that the source is telling you to do that. That it is time to do that. You are strong enough to do that. You are ready for whatever this is. Tell me more about the Ace of Pentacles. There's victory and success here. Queen of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. And the King of Cups. Wow. Bottom of the deck, the Star card. There is success here for you. Whether that is a new love partner or a new friend or maybe several new friends, a new job, a new boss, that's what's waiting for you. A connection here that is based in honesty, truth, integrity. Claim that person how you want. Are they energetically on your path waiting for you? They are. It's almost like they're trying to call you in or trying to draw you in. So if you're currently feeling this energetic draw, like, oh, maybe I should start dating again, or maybe I should join a community group and see if I connect with like-minded people, or maybe it's time to find a job, or it could even be with that Ace of Pentacles. Maybe it's time that you look into financing or grants or something like that, maybe to further your education or to relocate. I just feel like if you're feeling called within to discover or explore or find a particular kind of partnership or connection in your life, yeah, that's because this person is already energetically calling you towards them. And I wouldn't let past pain or disappointments get in the way. This person, whoever they are to you, and claim them how you want, is actually very healing and gets you a lot closer to wish fulfillment, or is your wish fulfillment. And all of that stress and burden that you feel in the Ten of Wands, like, I don't know if I could do this, I don't know if I could get up the nerve to do this, you can. Once you engage with this person and you realize how beneficial they are to you, it's like you can let down your defenses. The Nine of Wands in your deck, this person is sitting against a tree. They're holding that Ace of Wands. There's a feeling of satisfaction here, actually, that I'm feeling, which is not typically what I get with the Nine of Wands. But this is like, glad I took that chance. Glad I took that opportunity. So this seems to be a very healing connection for you, whether that's financial, emotional, or otherwise. But again, it's going to require you to get out of your comfort zone and pursue it. Are they energetically waiting for you? But this is one connection that you need to move towards. If you're sitting home with the blinds and doors closed and stuff, this is not just going to miraculously ring your doorbell. You need to go out and find it. And I think the intent and purpose is so you can rebuild the confidence in yourself to do this after whatever this disappointing connection here has been for you. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. Yeah, staying, boarded up in your home's not the answer. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your advice, King of Wands, taking the inspired action. 7 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Strength card. Have the strength, courage, and perseverance not to hold yourself back from connection, but to engage in connection, to move forward and meet lots of new people. Date people, meet new people, go on a lot of different job interviews. Be happy, chase your happiness, and again with that King of Wands. It's like you need to take the inspired action to do this. This person won't just miraculously knock on your door. Are they energetically on your path? Yep. Do you probably already feel a calling to get out there? Like if you're at a job, but suddenly you're like, I wonder what other job opportunities are out there. Yes. It's like your new boss, and they don't even realize it. They're already energetically trying to pull you towards them. If you're like, maybe I should start dating again. Yeah. Your next partner is literally energetically pulling you towards them. They don't even know they're doing it, but they're calling out to you. And so, yeah, if you're feeling the call within to, like I said, explore or find a new partnership, in your life, whether professional, platonic, or romantic, yeah, it's time that you do that. That is what I have for you at this time, Cancer. That's what the universe or source wants you to focus on at this time, moving towards partnership or a type of partnership that you desire, because the individual is out there waiting for you. I'm going to have to take a sip of my coffee, but that's what I have for you, my dear. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. Until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Leo. I just had a little bit of a coughing fit during the Cancer reading, so I really need a sip of my coffee. I'm so sorry, but that was like nonstop talking there for like 45 minutes. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm a Gemini. My ruling planet is now of Mercury. There I go, stumbling. Is now in pre-shadow. So if I stumble my way through your reading, I apologize. But let's see what source wants you to focus on at this time. Sacrifice. Okay. Why does source want Leo to focus on sacrifice at this time? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Why does source want Leo to sacrifice at this time? Or what do you want Leo to sacrifice at this time? One more shuffle here. Thank you. 10 of Wands, 3 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Jesus, 10 of Pentacles. I gotta take this. Ace of Pentacles. I think what you need to focus on right now is this heartbreaking situation that you either endured recently or you're currently enduring actually is necessary. Like, it had to be sacrificed. It had to be removed from your life so you can move towards something or someone better. Tell me about that 10 of Wands to the 3 of Swords. Let's do a joint clarification on that. So maybe I'm speaking to a Leo where you're like, I don't understand why that happened, or that friend betrayed me, or that person cheated on me. And it's like, you had to let that go. Sometimes the Hangman card, and we don't have the Hangman card on the table, but that's the energy I get from that Sacrifice card. It's like when we look at something from a different perspective, we get a different angle on it. And then it's like, oh, well, that's why I have to let that go, or that's why I needed to let that go, or why I needed to sacrifice that. So it's getting a different perspective that had to happen in order for this to come in. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 3 of Swords to that 10 of Wands. Justice. Yeah, it was the only way. Fool card. Oh my God. Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Cups. That had to happen. I know people hate hearing tarot readers say that. Like, well, why did I have to be heartbroken? Why did they have to dump me? Why did they have to make me an option? You know, whatever it was here. Why did they have to fire me? Again, I don't know what this was for you, but it was, and maybe it's not something you're not realizing, but I feel like if you look back and have a different perspective of it, you will. It was more emotionally taxing for you to exist in it than it was for you to exit it. And at that point, that's when justice had to be called by the universe. If you staying in a situation, environment, or connection is more emotionally burdensome for you than the exit is, than moving on to something or someone better, then yeah, I feel like Source comes in and creates a tower moment in order to break you away from it. And in that moment, you think, I can't handle this. I can't handle all the heartbreak that comes from this separation. But you can, because you've been enduring the heartbreak just existing in that particular connection. So whatever came to an end here, if you can change your perspective and see it in a different way, that had to be sacrificed. In other words, removed from your life. So you can move now in another direction. A new opportunity, a new love interest, a new job. Tell me about the new here. A new soulmate. Whether that's professional, platonic, or romantic. Like, this soulmate had to be sacrificed out so the new soulmate can come in. Tell me about that 10 of Pentacles. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, and the 10 of Swords. So the new can come in. It was the only way for the universe to equal the playing field here. That situation would have perpetually left you in the Three of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Ten of Swords. It was designed to. And maybe it wasn't always like that. Maybe at some point in time, it was balanced and things were equal. And it was a great job environment, or it was a good friendship, or a good collaboration, or a good romantic partnership. But at some point in that connection, it became completely the opposite of either how it started or how it ended up. It was no longer fair and balanced. And the only way for Source to right the wrong and bring in the Ten of Pentacles, long-term financial stability or long-term emotional contentment, was to introduce a new soulmate here on Path for you. And the only way to do that was to remove the current one. So if you're a Leo and you recently lost your job, and I'm not predicting that you will, it's something you would have already experienced, it's because a better job is coming in. If you're wondering why it didn't work out with that friend or that lover, it's because a better one is coming in. And you would have never disengaged from that situation, environment, or connection if it wasn't completely heartbreaking for you. Yeah. You would have continued to endure the Ten of Wands to the Three of Swords, because at some point in time, you either became or you would have become comfortably numb existing in it. And because God or Source, whatever you want to call that higher entity, wanted more for you, they decided this has got to hurt enough for you to leave, because you were getting too comfortable in the heartache. I don't even think you realized at the time that you were existing in whatever this is in the Three of Swords to the Ten of Wands. It's like it became comfortable for you. And Source was like, no, 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 can't have that happen. So yeah, at that point in time, it had to become more devastating or more painful, so you would make the active choice to move on from it. Tell me about the Six of Cups. I want to know about the new partnership coming in. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Five of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and the Eight of Swords. You can't see it now, but that had to happen. The conflict, the loss, the defeat, the competition, whatever happened back here. You can't see it now, but it's all part of your destiny. And I know people don't want to see that, but don't get tripped up here in the Seven of Swords where you're so busy looking back and you're like, but why did that happen? Why did that end? I would look forward to where you're headed. Don't sabotage your new beginning by not recognizing it in this moment. That person, place, or thing had to be sacrificed. Like I said, remove that out of your life. It's just you're not seeing it now, but this actually was for your highest good. And what I'm noticing here in the Eight of Swords card, we have the Three of Swords from the heartbreak, and then we have the Five of Swords here from the conflict. And you're standing here in the middle, completely, there goes Mercury retrograde, completely blindfolded and not able to fully understand maybe at this time, why did I have to go through that? You're about to find out why. Tell me about this new partnership. Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. I mean, this is screaming stability, whether it's financial or emotional. So I want you to claim that person or that opportunity however you'd like. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Hierophant, talk about stable. Ace of Swords, that's the truth. And Judgment. Wow. Bottom of the deck, Page of Swords. I have to throw this out there for just one of you watching. Okay? It's possible that this goes back to childhood. I don't know why I'm getting this message. Like I said, it's probably for one of you watching. Where maybe you don't understand, why you were put in the foster care system. Why you were put into adoption. Why a particular parent exited your life. Why were you raised by a grandparent or someone else? If that's your message, what you're not seeing is because the person that ended up raising you was a lot better than who would have been raising you. That's a terrible thing to say. Like I said, it's probably for only one of you watching. But there's something like grandma or grandpa or something like that were more stable or more consistent than this individual. Don't take that message if it's not yours. And if something like that happened, but you ended up like in a worse situation, that's definitely not your message, okay? So I feel like it's just for those of you, or maybe you did end up having like a steady healthy, kind of grounded person there who raised you, but it wasn't your biological parents. Again, I just feel like that's the message, is like, oh, it's because this actually would have been more difficult for you. And maybe that's something you don't see, and maybe this reading here is intended to help you see that. For others of you, this is way more present, way more current. This is fresh here. Why did I lose this situation, environment, or connection? Because something better is coming, something that's more stable, something that's more aligned to who or what you are. So whatever sacrifice occurred way back in the past or recently, I think what Source wants you to focus on is it's because it was destined. It was part of your life path and your life plan. So something or someone better now can enter it. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. 3 cards of advice here, please, for the Leo collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Swords to the Page of Swords. Queen of Swords. 2 cards came out. 3 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Look at that. Bottom of the deck, the Devil. Yeah. Don't get caught up in that 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords could be the lower octave of the Devil, where we're incessantly or continually thinking about, why did that go wrong, right? Why did they put me up for adoption? Why did that person break up with me? Why did that job fire me? Instead, see it from a new perspective. And the new perspective is, I deserved better, or I deserve better. For those of you who are like currently going through it right now, I would change your perspective. And if you change your perspective, it will change. If you change your perception, if you change your perspective, it'll change your perception. Sorry, again, Mercury retrograde. But there's something here about seeing that loss, whatever it has been for you, whenever it occurred in your life, was actually for your highest good. It was to put you now on path and in alignment with individuals that are actually beneficial to you, more solid, more steady, more aligned and in tuned to who you are and who you're becoming. That is what I have for you, Leo, at this time. So Source wants you to change your perspective on a particular sacrifice here that occurred in your life, again, regardless of when it happened, and see it for what it was, which is part of your life path, in order to get the wheels of fate in motion so you can move towards something or someone else far better. And if this has recently happened, this is coming in very soon. That is what I have for you, my dear. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Virgo. Thank you so much for being here. I'm stumbling and fumbling my way through the reading because Mercury retrograde is doing quite a number on me. You should know a little bit about that, as that is also your ruling planet. So yeah, pre-shadow is already affecting me. So apologize ahead of time. But right now, let's take a look at what Source wants you to focus on at this time. We have reward. Okay. Why is reward something here that Source wants Virgo to focus on? Why do you want Virgo to focus on reward at this time? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles, that's you, whether you're masculine or feminine. Ace of Wands, 2 of Cups, and the 2 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Wands, the Devil, and the King of Pentacles. Ace of Cups, the Hangman, 9 of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. You're about to receive a reward here, Virgo. There's a new soulmate that is now on your path. And if you decide to proceed forward towards meeting this person, you're going to realize why that person had to leave your life. It's like, this is going to be the reward for you dealing with that hellish experience that this person created for you. So this Ace of Wands, 2 of Cups is like, this is the boss that you've always wanted. It's like your reward for putting up with like a toxic boss or a toxic living situation, you know, or this becomes your romantic reward for dealing with, you know, a narcissistic or controlling or manipulative, very authoritative bully kind of love partner. So I want to learn more about this person, but let's focus on that thing. I'm not cross-watcher friendly. I say that all the time. But let's be nice. Let's focus on that. Devil to the King of Pentacles. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Hermit, the Page of Cups, and the Six of Swords. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. Oh my God, 3 of Cups, 10 of Swords. Who is this person? This is the job where you work overtime and you put your best foot forward. You're not appreciated. You don't receive a thank you. Sometimes they don't even pay you for overtime. They celebrate the success and achievements of other employees and they hardly ever notice your effort. You always feel backstabbed. You always feel betrayed. You're always waiting for the raise, the promotion, the pat on the back, like, good job, Virgo. So yeah, if that's your story and you either just lost that job or you're currently dealing with that kind of job, you have a better job coming in. Now, if you're still in it, it's going to require you to apply yourself, okay, and put out your applications and resumes, but you have a new boss here on path for you. Same thing if that was like a financial partner, like a business partner, and you were putting in all the effort, whether that was time or money or something like that, and they were just kind of sitting back and not doing anything. And you felt betrayed, like, hey, I thought this was a 50-50 business partnership. I'm doing all the work. I'm absorbing all of the financial cost here. You're just out having a grand old time here. And again, feeling very betrayed. Better business partner here on path for you. Same thing, that's a romantic partner. I'm pulling all the weight. You're giving me no equal reciprocity. I feel emotionally void. Maybe they put you in a third party, or they just spent more time hanging out with friends and family than they did with you, or getting to know you, or nurturing the connection with you. Either way, you felt backstabbed and betrayed. I don't know who that person was to you. I mean, professional, platonic, or romantic, not a great energy here. So your reward for dealing with that kind of person is this kind of person. Let's take a look at this person. Tell me about the Two of Cups here. Tell me about the Two of Cups here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Two of Cups, clarified by Seven of Swords, Nine of Swords, and the Page of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Chariot. The only thing that's getting in the way of you meeting this person is yourself. You're staying at a job that is unhealthy. You're staying in a friendship that's unhealthy. You're staying in a living situation that's unhealthy. You're staying in a romantic partnership that's unhealthy. You not inquiring on the new, trying to find a new place to live, a new job, you know, how to extricate yourself out of a toxic romantic partnership that maybe you have your money, you know, wrapped up with this person, or you share a residence with them. Like, it's by you failing, and that's the message here. By you failing to do your due diligence to acquire the information you need to exit whatever this is, that's the only thing preventing this new person coming in. So if you're going to continue to stay at the job that's toxic and not make an effort to look for, Page of Swords, some new job opportunities, this doesn't come in. No one's going to randomly text you or call you or send you an email or knock on your door and say, hey, Virgo, I intuitively felt that you're in a toxic work situation. Come on over here, you know, come work for us. You would have to put the time management in. Two of Pentacles, make the effort. Two of Wands, make the decision to say, I'm going to find another job. And that respect you do. Same thing if that's any other kind of connection in your life. The only way for you to move forward from it is for you to make the decision to move forward from it, to leave, again, the toxic situation or something like that. Find the way out. You would need to make the decision to say, A, I want to leave this. And then Page of Swords, acquiring the intelligence, if you will. Not that you're not intelligent. By intelligence, I mean information on how you can exit it. Like look for another place to live or something like that. And then Chariot. This person comes in almost immediately. You start putting out your applications and resumes, you get a new job. You start looking for another financial opportunity, it comes in. You know, you're looking for another romantic partner, it comes in. You need to extricate yourself from this. Maybe you need an attorney. Maybe you need an accountant. Like whoever that soulmate is that's going to help you move on from whomever, whatever this is, they're out there. But it's a two-step process for you. You need to make the decision, sorry, to leave behind whomever or whatever this is, and then acquire the information on how you can do that. Tell me more about this person or the Ace of Wands or the opportunity. One more shuffle here. Thank you. I'm being told to take it. Yeah. Judgment, Five of Swords, and the Queen of Cups, bottom of the deck, Ace of Cups. There's your new opportunity. And it's like, energetically speaking, it's in your hand already. Like you're holding the book. Again, all you have to do is make the decision to move on from whomever, whatever this is. Make the judgment call that I'm going to move on from this, even if it's difficult, even if the boss doesn't like it, even if the family member argues with me, even if my spouse gives me a difficult time. I'm making the choice to do this, to move in this other direction or to find this other job, etc., etc. Because it's literally energetically in your hand, but you do need to reach out for it. And that Ace of Cups. So, yeah, you have a beautiful reward here in respect to another soulmate. And they're energetically just kind of on hold here, waiting for you to make the decision and move on from whomever or whatever this is. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. 3 cards of advice here for my Virgo. So, my love, you don't have to keep enduring that. Their help is here for you. And if that's not external to you and it's internal, maybe you're that King of Pentacles to the Devil. So that could be you engaging in a toxic behavior, or something that you're overindulging in. Could be alcohol, could be drugs, pornography. And I'm not saying that any of those things are negatively bad for you. I'm not judge and jury here. I don't judge anyone. But overindulgence of any of those things could be detrimental to you, even if that's over shopping or overeating. And in that respect, again, if you were to make the decision to say, I want to quit that, I want to give up that habit, I want to get in better health, and then you start trying to acquire information on how you can do that, yeah, there's a new soulmate here put on path, some new online guru that you connect with, the gym owner, someone at AA, some type of counselor or therapist. I just, like, if that's internal to you, there's someone, a soulmate out there that can help you heal that toxic wound or pattern within yourself. So the collective reading, take the messages how they resonate to you. But whether it's internal or external to you, help is out there, Virgo. But step 1, you have to admit that you want to move in another direction. And step 2, you need to acquire the information on how to do that. After that, it's the person is just going to, like, literally magically, like, appear in your life. One more shuffle here. Thank you, because that'll be the reward for you making the decision, sorry, Mercury retrograde, to do what is in your best interest. Page of Swords. It all begins with you getting that information. Hierophant and a 7 of Cups. Bottom of deck, the Sun card. Seeing that whomever, whatever that is, you continually engaging in it is actually fantasy or illusion or wishful thinking. Like, oh, the job will get better, the person will get better, the living situation will get better. That could be like wishful thinking. Or I'm not drinking all that much, or I don't really want to recognize that I'm overspending. That could be illusion or delusion. So your advice here is to be very honest with yourself. Does this situation, environment, or connection, or pattern or habit even within you, does it align in the Hierophant energy to who and what you truly are, or who and what you truly want for your life, or who and what you truly want to become? Because if your answer is no, there's a plethora of other soulmates out there that will help you extricate yourself from this, or move on to a better path, or leave behind or heal from that toxic pattern. But it's going to require you, my dear. You're going to have to be honest with yourself. I mean, the Sun card talks about illumination and truth and honesty. So be honest with yourself. Once you have that realization here, that revelation, like, oh my God, I need to do something about this, that new soulmate, that Ace of Cups, like, as soon as you reach for it, it's there for you. So that's what I have for you, my dear. That's what Source wants you to focus on, and getting yourself out of that situation, environment, or connection. I feel, though, the first thing you have to do is acknowledge it for what it is, accept it for what it is, and be determined to want to overcome it or move on from it. And it's literally like the minute, we're talking like within a couple of weeks, that you start just trying to gather information, boom, someone new is put on your path that helps you. And that's like your reward for doing right by you. That is what I have for you, Virgo, at this time. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Libra. I hope that you're doing well. Going to take a little break here, Libra, before I start your reading because I want to get something to drink. Because my throat is going, and I've been chatting now for almost a little over an hour at this point, so I'll be right back. All right, Libra, I'm back. You won't notice that I was gone for a couple of minutes there because I'll edit that out, but let's take a look now at what Source wants you to focus on at this time. Keep in mind, I'm ruled by Gemini. I'm a Gemini ruled by Mercury. There you go. We're in pre-shadow, so if I stumble or fumble my words today, I apologize ahead of time. You have solutions. Okay. Source wants you to focus on solutions. Tell me about these solutions here for the Libra collective. What solutions do you want Libra to focus on? One more shuffle. Thank you. The Fool. How to have a new beginning here. The Fool, the Ace of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Focus on creating a solution here for yourself on how you can get out of a situation that has been Three of Swords to the Five of Pentacles, either emotionally or financially depleting, or had an emotional or financial negative impact on you. A new beginning is possible. And this could be anything, external to you or internal to you, like something you're eating or you're over consuming. It's like, that's actually, you know, overspending is financially harmful to you. Maybe overindulging in a particular activity or consuming something, again, overindulgence is actually not good for your health or something like that, or maybe even for your mental health if it's not your physical health. And for others of you, it's external to you. It's a situation, environment, or a connection. Or there's a solution here on how you can get out of it. You don't have to stay stuck in this, or you don't have to continue living this way, or continually engaging in the overindulgence. Tell me about this new beginning here, the Fool card. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Sun. Oh my. And we have the Two of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Page of Wands. So you have a choice here, Libra. You can continue, I was going to say managing, but I don't think you're managing this very well. I feel like putting up with is more like it. You can continue to put up with the situation, environment, or connection that is external to you and is creating this emotional or financial deficit in your life. I'll word it that way. Or you can continue engaging in or consuming whatever this toxic pattern or trait here is for you. Or you can make the decision, Two of Wands, to move in another direction. Tell me about the Ace of Swords here. Tell me about the Ace of Swords. One more shuffle here. Thank you. I think the first thing you need to do, like the first step here, is like getting clarity that like, yeah, this isn't changing. Or this isn't good for me. You know, this isn't beneficial to me, whether emotional or financial. Again, whether someone is doing this to you or you're doing this to yourself. Ace of Swords, yep. Ace of Pentacles, the Star, and the Magician. Wow, bottom of the deck, Four of Wands, yeah. It's like the acknowledgement or just saying it out loud, I think is like the first step here. This isn't good for me. And then step two, we're going like 1 to 2 here. So step 1 is like being honest, acknowledging this is not good for me. And then step 2 is I want to move in a completely different direction, or I want to do something differently here. Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. There's a way, there's a solution here to change this or move on from this that maybe you're not seeing at this time, but Source wants you to focus that there is a solution here. Tell me about the solution. You don't have to stay Four of Pentacles stuck and stagnant. You don't have to keep overindulging. You don't have to keep staying at the shitty job, or, you know what I mean, in a bad partnership, or indulging in whatever this is. Clarify that Four of Pentacles first, because you seem to be of the mindset of like, well, it's a comfort zone, or I've always put up with this, or I've always worked here, or this is the way it's always been, or it's the way I've always been. One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Swords. Oof. Three of Wands. And the Page of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, King of Swords. There you are, whether you're masculine or feminine. So your comfort zone is not very comfortable. It's actually sabotaging you from moving forward in an entirely new direction that is more beneficial to you. So if you're having financial issues, but you're overspending, the answer isn't to, but it's comfortable to continue incurring debt. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's not financially beneficial to your future. If you're staying, you know, if you're overindulging in something that you're consuming, smoking, coffee, and look, I'm not judging you on any of those things, or like excessive alcohol or even pornography. The word there is overindulgence, or the word there, the key word there is that you're doing this, you're overindulging, or you're doing this excessively. Yeah, key word there is overindulgence and excessive. And you don't have to keep doing it because that's what I've always done, but it's not good for your health, either physical or emotional or mental. And same thing if this is anything external to you. Continuing to engage in the situation, environment, or connection is actually like you're sabotaging your ability to move forward and be in a better job or a better committed partnership or a better friendship. Again, I don't know who or what is doing this to you, external or internal to you, but if you continue to engage in it, all you're doing is sabotaging your ability to move towards something a hell of a lot better in that Sun card. So start focusing on solutions. How can you extricate yourself from this? How can you cut back on what it is that you're overindulging? Tell me more about this. One more shuffle. Thank you. Eight of Swords, the Death card, and the Ten of Wands. How do I put an end to that and have victory? Six of Wands. So Source wants you to start thinking about what are the different ways that are safe, okay? Source never wants you to do something that's not safe. In other words, don't, you know, this is a toxic job environment. Don't quit your job until you find another job, okay? Obviously, if it's abusive, that's a different story, but just because you don't like it or they don't pay you what you're worth doesn't mean that you should quit it tomorrow. It does mean, though, that you should not block yourself and just say, well, I'm going to put up with it because it's the best that I could do. No, it's not. You have a hell of a lot better job opportunity there waiting for you. But it's going to require you to take the initiative to look for it, to apply for those jobs. And same thing if this is anything internal to you. There are different avenues or support systems for you to be able to heal this. There's gurus online, there's gyms, there's Alcoholic Anonymous, you know what I mean? And again, some of them might require you to show up in the 3D world, like to attend the meeting, but some you can do online from, you know, a place of being anonymous or from the comfortability of your own home and the privacy of your own home. So your advice here seems to be, if you want to move on from whomever, whatever this is, or change this up, if it's you that's actually engaging in this, there are so many different ways for you to put an end to this that maybe you're not seeing, because whatever this is, it's really burdensome for you. And you're not going to be able to progress forward in your life towards the happiness that you desire or the success that you desire if you keep carrying the weight of whatever this is, because this is an enormous weight on you. Again, whether it's addiction or something external to you. There's victory here for you, but victory to the King of Pentacles, to the Five of Cups, it's going to require you to be grounded enough to look at your future, like King of Pentacles would look at their future and say, I don't want to keep engaging in this because I want better for my future. So I'm going to Five of Cups, leave this behind. Might be difficult to give up sweets. Might be difficult to give up drinking. You might fall off the wagon 1 or 2, 3 times. That's okay. Just get right back on it. It might be difficult for you to find another job, but you will find another job. You just won't find another job if you continue to endure this. So let's get you 3 cards of advice. 3 cards of advice here for Libra. Yeah, you don't have to continue enduring this. There are so many different options and choices for you to overcome this or to move past it. Don't keep yourself stuck and stagnant. Instead, free your mind and start thinking about all the different ways you can improve this situation for yourself. You deserve to live your best life, Libra, and this isn't it right now, my love. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your advice. 6 of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, and the High Priestess, bottom of the deck, the World card. Three of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. Your advice. I feel like if this message is resonating for you, your intuition has been trying to tell you this for a long time. I also think that you have the answer. I think you know exactly what you need to do to disengage from whomever or whatever this is. Again, whether it's internal or external to you. I think intuitively you know that you need to move on. And I think you intuitively know what it is you need to do to move on. So your advice here is, if that's your message, it's time for you to start spending or pouring some pentacle energy, pentacle resources, time, love, money, commitment, devotion towards exiting whatever this is, towards finding a solution. I don't think if you stay in this, it's for your highest good, or you keep indulging in this is for your highest good. I'm not a fear-mongering tarot reader. I just feel like Source has been urging you to move on from whomever, whatever this is. And again, even if it's a habit within yourself. But that's not going to change until you start pouring some pentacle resources into moving in a new direction and exploring some new solutions on how you can do that. Whatever this is, it's no longer aligned to who or what you are or to who or what you're becoming. Wheel of Fortune. This is the destined, fated moment, if you will, for you to move your life in a new direction. But it will require you to put on that thinking cap and start coming up with ways on how exactly you can do that. That is what I have for you, Libra, at this time. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Scorpio, my moon bebes. You're going to have to forgive me today. Scorpio, we're in pre-shadow. Mercury retrograde, that's my ruling planet. I am stumbling and fumbling my way through these readings, so I'm asking for your forgiveness ahead of time. All right, let's see what Source wants you or us to focus on at this time. What do we have, Scorpio? Foundation. Why is foundation something that you want Scorpio to focus on at this time? Foundation. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Nine of Wands, the Chariot, the King of Cups, and the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Hierophant, the Tower, and the Four of Wands. Oof. Ten of Swords. My love. There's a situation, environment, or connection that you either are currently existing in or you're about to enter and move forward towards. But if it does not have a solid foundation, it won't be successful. If this is a romantic partnership, it'll be heartbreaking. Or it'll come to an end. And that's quite the painful end there. Three of Swords to the Ten of Swords. So whether this is a business plan, or you want to relocate, or you want to apply for a new job, or again, there's something here you're currently doing or you're about to do. And either way, without it having a strong, solid foundation, moving forward, rushing forward with it, without creating that foundation is actually going to be quite hazardous or traumatic or even painful for you. So you need to shore up the foundation on something first, or make sure that it has a shored up foundation before you proceed forward. Tell me about the Nine of Wands. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Nine of Wands is clarified by Six of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Justice. You either are like I said, you're either moving forward with this. I don't know where you are on the timeline. You're either actively engaged in whatever this is, situation, environment, or connection, or you're about to be. And there's something that feels really good in your ego. No offense, we all have ego. But there's something really good that after all I've been through, this, whatever this is starting to move forward. Or after everything I've been through, this opportunity has finally landed in my lap and now I can move forward. But don't let ego get in the way here of something. Because I feel like whatever isn't working or hasn't worked in the past is all comes down to the foundation. You know, towers come in and knock down things that were not structurally sound to begin with. Ideas, plans, connections, situations, environments, etc., etc. So whether you're actively in it or you have a chance to do it again or it's something new, if you just move forward, if you're just focused on, I'm going to do this because it strokes my ego or it feels good, or I waited a long time for this opportunity, or I waited a long time for this person, like, again, whatever this is for you, what you have your back turned towards is the reality that if this is not fair and balanced, if you're not careful, if you don't go slow, if you don't lay down the foundation, it's going to crash and burn. I remember when I wanted to launch my YouTube channel, I took 6 months before I actually launched it. I started in like November or December, but it didn't go live until April 6th of 2024. So I started like the November or December beforehand. And I was like, this needs to be a strong foundation. So I need to know how to work the camera. I have to set up the background. You know what I mean? Like, I have to practice on camera how to channel these messages to myself, because at that point I was only used to doing it, you know, for people face to face, one-on-one, in person. And this is a lot different. Also, reading for the collective is a lot different than reading for an individual. I have to take these messages I receive and then say, okay, well, it could be A, B, or C, because I'm not reading for one person. If I was reading for one person, I could just say, this is A, this is yours, but I'm reading for so many of you. So it's like, well, it could be this or it could be this, you know, take what resonates. But I had to learn all that, and I had to get comfortable in how to do that. And so there was a lot of practice and trial runs, and I had to become, you know, accustomed to YouTube and how to upload a video. And so again, I'm not saying my channel is successful. I'm just saying that I prepared for it. I didn't want any tower to come in and knock it down. So I wanted to understand the terms of service. What are the potential things I could do that would demonetize me or strike my channel or have it removed? What are the things I have to avoid doing? Because I don't want that to happen. So I tried to create a foundation that was structured and sturdy that I can now build upon. If this is a connection-based reading for you, again, whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic, the same thing applies. Rushing into the friendship, rushing into a romantic partnership, accepting that job because it sounds good, but not asking the right questions. We're not laying a good foundation here. We don't have good boundaries. You know what I mean? We're not getting to know the person. So again, that type of connection is going to crash and burn. Or we get the job and we're like, oh my God, I've been waiting for a job. So when they offer me a job, I'm not going to ask any questions. Like, don't do that. It might end up being the worst job you ever had. But you would have known that had you taken the time to ask some questions during the interview process. So I think that's all this is saying. And like I said, some of you are in this and others of you, you're about to be in this. Like that, again, general collective reading, right? The opportunity is coming from a soulmate, Two of Cups. Some of you know this person, some of you don't. You might be quick to rush in because, again, with that Ten of Cups, it emotionally feels good in the moment or sounds good in the moment. Whatever you're hearing or whatever they're doing is going to make you feel good. But without a firm foundation, it's not going to last. And I think Source just wants you to focus on that in any partnership, professional, platonic, or romantic in your life, the only way that it's going to last the test of time, if you will, Seven of Swords to the Emperor's in the reverse, the way I cut the deck. The only way it's going to last that test of time is if you have a firm foundation. If you don't take control and actually do that, actively decide to, okay, I'm going to ask the right questions, I'm going to take this slow, I'm going to get to know this person, you're basically just sabotaging that connection. And I'm not saying it's 100% on you, but maybe if you ask the right questions, you decide it's not a connection you want to participate in. You're like, oh, okay, this job, I got to wait 2 years for medical insurance. You might be like, not for me. But again, that would only come from you asking the right questions and making sure we're going to start this, you know, work relationship, this work partnership on a firm foundation. The only way to do that is for me to ask the right questions, sometimes even uncomfortable, at the interview or post-interview even. And again, if this is romantic partnership, taking the time and making sure you're both on the same page and you're getting to know one another. Whatever this is, without that strong foundation, I feel like it ends up falling apart on you. And if this is a current connection in your life, I would say before we go further, before we try to build upon this, take the relationship to a higher level of commitment, let's actually get down to the root of it before we try expanding on it. It's like when you own a house. This is a good like metaphor or analogy I could give you. It's like when you go to expand a house. We have a little diner in my town, and it sold, I think about, I want to say about 7 or 8 years ago. Okay, timing is irrelevant. I don't know why I'm doing that because I'm a Gemini. I'm trying to give you all the details. It's like 7 or 8 years ago the diner sold, and a new owner, before even getting an inspection, was already floating out the idea to the town, like, I'm going to take this old historic diner and, I'm going to add a second floor and a spiral staircase. And a lot of people in the town, number one, freaked out because to them, that's the diner they remember. It's the only diner in this area, right? For literally like the last 90 years, no lie, literally the last 90 years. And some people were horrified by it. And he was all excited because he was like, I'm going to make this huge and I'm going to make all this money. But he failed to do the inspection to look at the foundation. The foundation of that building was strong enough to get it to that one level little diner that holds maybe, 70 people in there, not even, maybe 50 people in there comfortably. And that's it. That's all that foundation was created to hold. And if he's going to try taking it up a notch, taking it to a higher level, if you will, adding a second or third floor, it's going to collapse because the foundation isn't strong enough. So whatever it is here, again, whether it's existing in your life like a partnership or something new that you want to enter or even create like your own business idea, don't be so naive and just rush in because it feels good in that moment or sounds good in that moment. Because without you building the foundation, I think it's going to fall apart on you. Anything else Scorpio needs to know about this? Hangman to the Six of Cups, learn from your past lessons. Something else did not work out in the past. Or maybe in the current relationship, something did not currently work out, and maybe now you have a second shot at this relationship. Start at the foundation. Anything else? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Death card, you. The Five of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Temperance. Yeah. Whatever this opportunity is, I would put the brakes on it. Even if this is like reconnection with a person or a current person that you're in connection with. I would just pause and say, we got to assess the foundation. We have to look at this friendship or we have to look at this partnership, something like that. It's time to assess the foundation. If this is work related for you and you work for a company and suddenly now they have an opening for another position, before you're so quick, like, oh, sounds good, I'm going to apply for it, just pause. Is that the type of position that you really want? Get all of the details on it. Do the background homework, right? Do the investigative research. Because it might sound good because it's a title or it has a lot of money attached to it. And then you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's the biggest mistake I ever did. I should have just stayed in that department instead of this is more responsibility, less pay. I got to work overtime. They don't pay me for it because I'm considered a manager. Like some states allow you to title an employee manager, and basically what that means is you don't have to pay them overtime. You can if you want, but you don't have to. So there's just stuff like that. Again, whether it's existing in your life or that's something new, make sure the foundation is firmed up. And if this is something currently in your life, like a friendship or a romantic partnership, I would just kind of put the brakes on it and start assessing that foundation and talk to the person about it. Look, I think our friendship's been having some issues, or our romantic partnership has been having some issues. Can we get back to working on the foundation of it? Can we make us structurally sound before we move forward? If the person says no, then they're not interested in a long-lasting partnership or relationship with you. Why wouldn't they be like, yeah, let's get to know one another better. Let's strengthen our bond. If you're the only one who wants to do it and they don't, that's your answer right there to exit. But I think a conversation here needs to be had. Again, for those of you where this is an existing connection in your life, even if it's a family connection. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. One more shuffle. Thank you. Six of Wands, your victory, Page of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. Didn't we see the Six of Cups here before? Oh, it was at the bottom of the deck, the Moon card. Yeah, I think your victory and success here comes from learning a lesson from the past that the last time I engaged with this or in something similar, it crashed and burned. And so this time around, we're going to do it differently, or I'm going to do it differently. And I think that's your victory. I think that's how you make progress. I think that's what's successful, is learning the lesson from the past, that the last time you tried to do this with this person or something similar with someone else, and it crashed and burned, it's because you need a strong foundation. And if this is your current relationship, you have an opportunity here to strengthen it. But I would start at the base. It's all about the base. That is what I have for you, Scorpio, at this time. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Sagittarius. I hope that you're well. Please excuse my voice. I've been chatting away here for about an hour and a half. And also excuse my stumbling or fumbling, as we are pre-shadow Mercury retrograde, and that is my my ruling planet. So apologize ahead of time if I'm stumbling my way through your reading. Let's see what Source wants you to focus on at this time. I just want to give this one good shuffle before we do that. Okay. Okay. What does Source want you to focus on at this time? Your intuition. Tell me why intuition is something that you want Sagittarius to focus on at this time. Why is intuition here? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Four of Swords. We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Strength card. And we have the Eight of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Death card, the Tower, and the Three of Pentacles. That leaves the Emperor, the Lovers, and the Five of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. This has been coming up in your reading now for quite some time. There's a connection here in your life that is no longer beneficial to you. And I don't know if this is your friend, your landlord, you know, a family member, a lover of yours, a spouse. I don't know who this person is, but they are like repetitively coming up. And look, it could be someone that you think is a friend, but really they're a frenemy, or they're jealous of you, or they're envious of you. I just think that your intuition has been trying to scream at you for the longest time to tell you about this. Like, I think when you're sitting there and you're having these quiet moments in the Four of Swords, I feel like Source is trying to like shine a light on this. I think they've been trying to get your attention. Again, shine a light here. Trying to tell you about this. That Eight of Swords, again, there's a light here. I think they've been trying to tell you this for a while. And I kind of think you've been ignoring your intuition on this. Tell me more about what is Sagittarius' intuition trying to tell them. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Ten of Swords. That something here needs to come to an end. It concerns a particular connection in your life. Ten of Swords, Page of Cups, and the Ten of Cups, bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. Source has been trying to get your attention that something here needs to come to an end so something better can come in. Like, hello, this job isn't working for you. Like, that's kind of the feeling that I get here. Like, if this is work related, it's almost like if Source could like shake you by the shoulder and be like, Sagittarius, you deserve a better work environment than this. Like, let's start putting in some effort here to find another job. And it's like, boom, you find a job that's way more emotionally content and satisfying. There's your Ace of Pentacles. There's your new job, right? But it's going to require you, Five of Swords, to exit something else, your current job. And same thing if this is a connection with a friend or a family member or a lover or someone you collaborate with. Source has been trying to tell you there's happiness in a connection or other connections outside of this. But it's like they can't energetically come in. Whatever this is like an energetic albatross on you. Like an energetic weight. And if it's not your message, please forgive me. Sagittarius is my opposite sign. I love your energy. I'm not trying to misread these cards at all. And I know the messages that I'm receiving. So again, if it's not your message, just check another placement. But there's a connection here in your life, professional, platonic, or romantic, that is not beneficial to you. Who is this person? Is there how will Sagittarius know who this person is? How can they identify this person? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Eight of Pentacles could be someone you work with, could be your job. the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Oh my God, bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you do this over and over again with this person. And you continually try to collaborate with them, work with them, try to make it work with them, work for them. And I mean, it leaves you wounded and weary. And if you already have someone who's come to mind in that Nine of Swords, where you're like, ah, she's talking about my boss or my parent or my lover, or yeah, whoever just came to your mind, that's the person. And you're doing something like over and over again, like I'm trying to make it work. I'm going to make it work. Five of Wands. So your intuition has been trying to tell you this for a long time, that it's time to make the decision to move on from this and build a new foundation elsewhere. That means find another job or another living situation. Or if this is a romantic partner, I have no indication here that it is, other than that Lover's card that we saw. But again, I felt like that just talked about a connection in your life. But even if it's romantic, building a foundation in your life here, that does not include this person. Tell me about the Death card to the Tower. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Ten of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Three of Wands, and Justice. Death card to the Tower, clarified by the Ten of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and Justice. You seem to be very resistant to change this or to move on from it, at least for the group of Sagittarians I've connected to. It's almost like you've become comfortably numb dealing with this. And you're preventing yourself from moving forward. Three of Wands to Justice. Even though, again, your intuition is telling you this is the just, fair, right thing for you to do, is to move on from whomever, whatever this is. But Four of Pentacles to the Ten of Wands, like, I'm going to hold on to this for better or for worse, no matter how difficult it gets. Why is that? Why are you holding on to this? Why are you ignoring your intuition? One more shuffle here. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure the mic was on. Queen of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and the Phoenix. You keep waiting for it to get better. Eight of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. You keep waiting for it to get better. Any day now, the job's going to get better. Any day they're going to love me. Any day they're going to, I don't know, recognize me as their twin flame, you know. You're waiting for them to make it right, or you're waiting for them to show up or be better, or you're waiting for the person who's betraying you in some sense to rectify a situation. Why would they? If that was the case, why are they Ten of Swording you to begin with? If the job has the intention of starting to treat you better and give you the raise or promotion that you deserve, why wouldn't they have done that already? Why are they making you suffer? If the love partner was going to do the right thing, okay, by you, do the right thing, wouldn't they have done it already? Why are they stepping out or cheating on you or being wishy-washy, or, you know what I mean? Why aren't they doing the right thing? And I think that's what you need to ask yourself, because I think that's what your intuition has been trying to get you to look at. This is a really hard reading for me to do, Sag, so I can only imagine what you're feeling or going through. But you keep waiting. It's only a matter of time. You know, that Phoenix, we're going to rise up from the ashes, and this is going to be the best friendship, the best collaboration, the best partnership, the best romantic partnership. But I think all you're doing is wasting time. And I think your intuition has been trying to tell you that for a long time. Eight of Cups, you're supposed to walk away from this already. This cycle closed out already, Sag. You're lingering in it. Three of Pentacles. What's on the other side of this Tower? What's on the other side of this Tower? One more shuffle. Thank you. The Hanged Man, the World, and the Seven of Cups. Bottom of the deck. The Devil, the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Wands. What is on the other side of this? Options, choices, learned lessons, being able to see this from another perspective, an ending, more opportunity. But man, this devil keeps sucking you back in. And I think on the other side of this, what you're going to see is that this was toxic. This was, you're getting some kind of hint here from your intuition, but you're ignoring it. Once you're fully in the, the new job, the new living situation, single and loving it, or even in a new committed partnership, that's when you're going to look back and go, holy shit, that was 10 times more toxic. And what was even as equally as toxic, or almost as equally as toxic, is that I endured it forever, thinking and hoping it would change, or thinking and hoping they were quote unquote the one. So what I'm asking, what's on the other side of that tower? You truly realizing that this was toxic, but also realizing your part in that, because there was some kind of like codependency or reluctancy to listen to your intuition, and way more options and choices. So if this message is ringing true for you, just pause and meditate and ask your intuition, not what you hope and want it to tell you, but what is it really trying to tell you about this? Because I think you've been ignoring it for too long. And the Nine of Swords, a person has their head in their hands, and so almost like you don't want to recognize it, because Tower moment, then you're going to have to do something about it. And I think part of you is hoping that who's ever on the other side of this is suddenly going to make it better, and I don't think they're going to. You have the divine gift of free will. You can continue to stay in this, or you can start moving towards your new chapter. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. 3 cards of advice here for Sagittarius. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 2 of Cups, 10 of Wands, King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. There's that 8 of Cups. So when it comes to this particular partnership, there's something here. Again, this is only advice, okay? This is looking at it and seeing the truth of the matter, because, and coincidentally, the 10 of Wands is the 3rd decan in Sagittarius, and it's like there's something here like you don't want to see it, but just pause. If you ground yourself, you'll be able to see it. This is not equal. This is not reciprocal. This is not fair. This is not balanced. But I think your advice here is like you need to get grounded first. And that's the best way for you to get in touch with your intuition. And I'm not saying that you're not intuitive. I mean, I have the Queen of Wands there as the 2nd most intuitive queen in tarot, immediately followed by the Queen of Cups, the most intuitive queen in tarot. So I think you're a highly intuitive sign. I just think for some reason, it's like you don't want to believe this one thing. But if you can ground yourself and maybe even get your ego a little out of the way, I say that because the King of Pentacles is the 3rd decan of Leo and the 2nd decan of Virgo. So that could be like, nope, I know this to be right. It could be a very stubborn energy. Nope, I know that this is right. This is my person. This is my job. This is, But I think if you ground yourself, you're going to see the reality of the situation, that it's not unified or it's not fair. And then I think you're going to trust your intuition. 2 most intuitive queens here. And then I think you'll walk away. And what you're walking away from is the 8 of Cups. But until you get into the 3 of Cups, where you're like in the new life or the new job or the new partnership, again, whatever this is for you, only then are you going to be able to look back and realize just how toxic this was. And how much time, I hate to say you wasted, but you spent ignoring your intuition and enduring it. That is what I have for you, Sagittarius, at this time. If you like those messages, or they resonated with you, or maybe just found them to be helpful, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Okay. Hello, Capricorn. I hope you're doing well. Trying to get Sagittarius's cards here off the table. I'm not pausing for this reading, even if it takes 2 hours to go through all 12 zodiac signs. So appreciate your patience. I hope you enjoyed your season. I know that you learned a lot. I saw a lot of growth expansion in the Capricorn collective. So for some of you, it wasn't easy, but I assure you in the journey of your life, it will have been worth it. Right now, as of February 14th, let's see what Source wants you to focus on, okay? Oh, focus. Source wants you to focus on focusing, okay? Tell me more about focus here for the Capricorn collective. Okay, they want you to focus on something here. What is that? What do you want Capricorn to focus on? Bottom of the deck, 10 of Wands. What would you like Capricorn to focus on? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Okay, being told to take it. We're going to take it. 2 of Cups, a particular partnership here in your life. Page of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the 7 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Devil, you. Knight of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. Okay. Tell me about the 7 of Swords. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles, 4 Swords, and the Fool. Tell me about the Page of Pentacles. This individual on this card is, they're reading something out of a book. Very focused, right? They're holding a pentacle, but they're very intentional here. This is what Source wants you to focus on. Something in regards to this partnership. Thank you. Knight of Cups is sideways. 7 of Cups and the Magician. Bottom of the deck, the 8 of Cups. Source wants you to focus on either a connection that just left your life or isn't doing so well in your life. I don't know where you are on the timeline. And so I don't know if this person has yet exited your life or things are just not going well with them. But you're supposed to focus on something here in regards to this partnership. There's something here that's still hazy or foggy. And there's a need here for you to get clarity. Okay, if this is a past connection, Source is saying, time out. Okay, you moved on from it. You spoke up. Bravo. Or they disengage. Sometimes people leave our life because it's their choice, but ends up being the best thing that's ever happened to us. So whether by force or by choice, for those of you where this person has exited your life, you're supposed to pause here, or at least that's the message, to focus on the absolute clarity of why that connection ended the way it did, or why things transpired in it the way it did. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of revisiting that past connection? And I don't mean reconnecting with that person. I mean contemplating what occurred here. Why is that? One more shuffle. Thank you. King of Pentacles. 6 of Wands. And the 2 of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. You're missing something about your role. Don't get mad at me. You're missing something here about your role in what transpired. Totally not blaming you if this was an abusive relationship and this just isn't your reading. This is, you know, for those of you where you had a friendship, let's say. You had a friendship end. You thought it was going to go the distance. It didn't. At some point in time, this person 7 of Swords you. There was some act of betrayal. And either they disengaged from you or whatever the act of betrayal was, it led you to disengage from them. Either way, it left you heartbroken because we have you in the 4 of Swords. So you're healing from the loss of that friendship. But there's something here is like, let's not be so egoic and 100% blame that person. That's going to be really hard. Don't get mad at me. Simmer the Saturn tempers there. There's something here like maybe your ego doesn't want you to see that you played a role in that friendship ending. Stick with me on this, okay? Don't click off. Let's see where we're going with this message. What was the role? Because you might be a little too prideful or want to put 100% of the blame on that person. And same thing if it's a romantic partnership. I'm not saying they cheat on you and it's your fault. That's not what this message is, okay? But you played a role in it. What does that mean? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Three of Swords. You played a role in the heartbreak, Judgment, and King of Swords because you failed to make a judgment call. You ignored a red flag. Okay, so that's your message. So if you had a connection end, like a friendship or a love partnership or something like that, again, not blaming you for what that person did. I'm not a cross-watcher friendly type of reader. You've heard that before. I'm not blaming you, and I'm not saying that they're not wrong. I'm not taking sides here. But you played a role in it somehow. You maybe failed to tell the truth. Maybe you overcompensated. Maybe you overgave. Maybe you turned a blind, blind eye, or you turned the cheek, or you didn't call out a red flag, or you continued to engage even when it was painful to you because you didn't want to say anything. You wanted to keep the peace. That's what I mean by some way, somehow you contributed to what occurred. And there's a need here for you to be honest with yourself about it. That's what Source wants you to focus on. And I think it's because when the next connection comes in, you don't repeat that pattern, that you learn to speak up, that you address the red flags, that you don't overgive, that you make the right judgment call, that you're honest and truthful in your engagement. You don't hide your feelings. You don't go along to get along. You know what I mean? So I think that was the lesson here for you. And that's what Source wants you to focus on if the connection has already ended. Don't focus so much on what they did. Try to see it from, how did you play a role in them doing that? And don't let your ego get in the way. Even if it's 1% your fault, just to yourself be able to, yep, that's what I did. I should have spoke up sooner. I think that's all this is asking you to do. And same thing if this is any other connection, like let's say this is work related and you were fired or you quit or something. It's just Source is saying, let's go back in our mind and revisit that. Did you not ask the right questions at the job interview? Did it sound good and you signed on the dotted line for this loan? You know what I mean? Did you just say yes, again, go along to get along? Again, I just think that there's a new opportunity headed your way, and Source just wants to make sure that you're very grounded and that you understand that past lesson. Instead of putting 100% of the blame on the person, just see where maybe where you went wrong, so you don't repeat that mistake. So the next time you ask the right questions, you call out the red flags. And if this is currently a connection here in your life, and this person is 7 of Swords you, Source wants you to focus in and be honest with yourself about it, that it's occurring. And to not ignore the obvious, because out of pride or ego, or a desire to want to win, or a desire to want to be right. In that respect, that would be like a head over ego, over heart decision. To be able to admit to yourself, nope, this person really is a liar or a cheater. Yep, this boss really is deceptive. You know, there's something like that here at play. It's like, just be honest with yourself. I want to know about the new opportunity. Tell me about the new opportunity. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 2 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Cups. Bottom of deck, 8 of Wands, coming in quick. And you're going to have 2 decisions here to make. 1, are you going to move forward with the opportunity? And 2, if you decide to move forward, how are you going to show up? Are you going to get along to, go along to get along, keep everyone happy? Are you going to repeat maybe a past thing here just to keep the peace? Or are you going to make sure that this connection is fair and balanced, or that you ask the right questions, or that it's built on a firm foundation? So yeah, you have a new opportunity coming in. Could be a new friend, like I said, new job opportunity. Could be a new love partner for some of you. If this was an issue with a landlord, this could be like the new landlord. But are you going to go along to get along, or are you going to ask the hard questions to make sure that this is fair and balanced to you? And I think that's why it's so important for you to focus on whatever ended here, or whatever isn't going right here. Because when the new opportunity presents itself, you get an opportunity here to repeat a past cycle which was heartbreaking to you or detrimental to you. And if this is your current person, your current romantic partner, your current job, there's something here about being honest with yourself, because you have a choice here. You can continue doing this, or you can move in a new direction. So I would focus and see the reality. If this is a present situation, focus on seeing the reality of it. Because some of you are not seeing it, or you don't want to see it. And yeah, for others of you, it's a past situation that you need to look at. Again, just to learn that lesson so you don't repeat that mistake, or you don't make a poor judgment call again when the new opportunity comes in. Because it's coming in Aries season, or the ability to move forward in this connection, or maybe even to re-engage if this is a past person. Like, I feel like it's coming up in Aries season. Bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles. So how much did you learn from it? Let's get you 3 cards of advice. I want to get you 3 cards of advice for those of you where it's like a past situation or connection that Source wants you to just go back and remember. Just think about it. Be honest with yourself about your role. So when that new opportunity comes in, you don't repeat that past mistake, okay? So 3 cards of advice where this is in the past. One more shuffle. Thank you. Sorry for the stomach growling. I don't know if the mic picks it up, but I'm quite hungry right now. 10 of Wands. 2 of Wands. 5 of Pentacles, yeah. There's a need here to go back. Again, this is for those of you where it's a past thing, because you have a new opportunity coming. And if you have not learned that lesson from the past on maybe how you contributed it, because maybe you didn't speak up about something or something like that. Like if you don't see, in that 10 of Wands, a person can't see through it. If you don't actually see, again, your role in whatever that was, then you have, as you move forward with the new opportunity, you're going to repeat the same mistake. There will have been no growth there in that 4 of Pentacles. Like you didn't learn your lesson. For those of you where it's a current situation, I just saw the 3 of Swords. So maybe some of you are currently dealing with this. Something here about focusing and seeing the truth of the matter. 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle. Thank you. If this is currently something you're going through, Hierophant, the World. 2 cards came out. I'm going to take it. King of Swords and the High Priestess. Bottom of the deck, 8 of Cups. I think your intuition has been trying to scream at you for the longest time that you need to close out this situation. And I don't know why you won't. The Hierophant could be anything. This is my community group, the political or religious organization I've always been affiliated with. You know, this is my marital partner or someone that I want to be married to. But like, you're not seeing the truth of the matter or the truth of this person. You know, this is a job I always wanted. It has a great title, or the office has a great view. I don't want to really look at it and see it for what it is, which is maybe like a, I don't know, corrupt enterprise, or not even treating you fairly. So if it's something current, Source is saying your intuition's been trying to get your attention here for a while. Just start paying attention to it. That's what I have for you, my dear. Focus, focus, focus is the name of the game this week. So come Aries season, you're prepared for that opportunity. That is what I have for you. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them. I'm totally putting these in the wrong deck. If you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Okay, Aquarius, hope you're doing well. You're going to have to be a little patient with me. I mix up these decks. Okay. Hope you're doing well. This is now your season. Today is February 14th. So if you're celebrating your birthday this week and then these final days of your season, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday. Okay. Let's see what Source wants you to focus on at this time, my darling. Source wants you to focus on a lie. Okay. Could be a lie you're telling yourself. Could be a lie someone is telling you. Let me shuffle this a few times, and then we'll get into your message. Okay. Why do you want Aquarius to focus on a lie? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Thank you. Face up, so we're going to take them. Page of Cups, 7 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Seven of Cups, Four Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. There you are, King of Swords, Strength, and the High Priestess to the Queen of Cups. There's a lie here. Page of Cups. Tell me about the Page of Cups. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Judgment. Ace of Pentacles. Page of Wands. Tell me about the Ace of Cups. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Seven of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. Four of Wands. Page of Pentacles just showed itself. Okay. Clarify the Queen of Pentacles. Clarify the Queen of Pentacles. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Pentacles obviously wanted to show itself because it came out again. The Magician and the Two of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Six of Swords. Oh boy. I feel like the lie here, I think it's, I hate to call you a liar, but I'm an Aquarius rising, okay? And they're collective general readings, just take them how it fits. I think the lie here is that you are entertaining multiple options and you're not being truthful to at least one of the options about that. So you're, you know, at a job and you're looking for a new job and you're entertaining all of these, you know, interviews or prospective employers. And meanwhile, you're talking to your boss about the growth of the company and what you guys are going to do next year and projects of the future and expansion of the future. And it's a lie. Like you're lying to this person that you want this expansion or you want this growth or you can't wait till the next company barbecue next summer. But meanwhile, you're looking for another job. You have been for a hot minute. And you're going to leave them the moment the right job comes in. This is going to be a super specific message. Don't take it if it's not yours. And for some of you, you're engaged in at least 2 romantic partnerships. And you're pretending that all is well with one. And meanwhile, you're entertaining another. So you're lying to someone. Because you can't plan a future with both of them, you know. I mean, unless it's polyamorous. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying. So I'm speaking to an Aquarius that at some point in time, you made a judgment call to take the inspired action to move towards a new opportunity or to explore. I should say explore a new opportunity in career and finance, love and romance. Could be a housing situation with that Four of Wands. I don't know what it is. But at some point in time, you made the judgment call and you're like, I want that. I want to acquire that. I want to move towards that. I want to explore that, right? Page of Wands is a card of discovery. And then the Seven of Wands was like, in my own little bubble. I'm just going to keep this all to myself. Other people may want to know about it. They might speculate down here, but mom's the word. I'm not going to tell anyone that I'm looking for the new. The Page of Cups. I'm looking for the new. Page of Cups holds the Ace of Cups. I'm looking for the new. I want to invest based upon my past experience at this job or this neighborhood or with this roommate or, again, you know, with this romantic partner. Because for me, queens exist presently based upon their past experience. I'm going to look for the new. A new housing situation, a new job, maybe entertain a new love partner. But this is you deciding to invest in exploring the new, finding the new, discovering the new, investing in the new. Meanwhile, you have something here that's existing. Page of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Two of Cups. You're actively working on this partnership as well. So you're still going to work. Again, you're talking about long-term goals. It's the marital partner you're still going home to, or, you know, all is well, but meanwhile, you're investing in a connection elsewhere. There's a lie here. I mean, we're clarifying the lie card. And if you're going to watch this and say, no, it's roles are reversed, it's not your reading. It's not a cross-watcher reading. It's not a role reversal reading. This is specifically for Aquarius placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, where you are engaging in 2 things at the same time. And at least one of them doesn't know about the other. Because Seven of Cups, Four of Swords, and the Wheel, it's almost like in due time, once I figure out which cup I'm going towards, you know, then I'm going to move towards it. But right now I'm not making a decision. Six of Swords, Knight of Wands, Page of Swords. So I feel like I'm specifically talking to those of you where this is a lie. Or this could be like at your current job, you're agreeing to do something or you're agreeing to work on something, but behind the scenes, you're looking for a way to get out of it or how to do it differently. Clarify the new. This is the new. Based upon the past, I'm going to explore something new. Tell me about the new here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. I mean, if this is relocation, this is the house I currently live in. I tell my neighbors and my friends and my family that I love this house. I'm never going to leave this house. Meanwhile, I'm talking to a realtor about how to relocate. And that would be a lie, right? You're being deceptive towards your community or your family or something like that. And you're already making plans of, oh, next year when you come to visit for the holidays. And meanwhile, they're not going to be visiting you at the holidays at that house. Because you're already entertaining other other realtors or looking into other residential properties or something like that. So the new, the Hermit, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Wands, bottom of the deck, the Lovers. You're already engaging in this, and you're eternally conflicted. I mean, you have a conscience here that you're not fully telling someone here the truth. But with that Hermit energy, you're not showing it. You're not showing your cards yet, at least not to that person. So that person or those people, even though you might feel guilty or have some regrets, you're not telling them anytime soon. That Hermit energy, you're just going to keep it to yourself. Tell me about what it is here that you are currently investing in. One more shuffle here. Thank you. That's like the existing. Queen of Wands, the Fool, and the Knight of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Six of Pentacles. That person has no idea. They might have a little intuitive hit. The Queen of Wands is the second most intuitive queen in tarot. So there could be something in their intuition, but they're ignoring it. They have no idea that you're looking to move on from them. Fool to the Knight of Swords. You're the Knight of Swords. That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. So to them, it's like, well, Aquarius still comes to work. They still show up. They're still future planning. They're still investing. They have, even if their intuition is telling them, oh, I think Aquarius isn't really happy or they're looking for another job, they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't see this coming, even though their intuition is telling them it's coming. They don't want to see that coming. They don't want to believe the lie. They don't want to believe you're a lie. Or they don't want to believe that you're a liar. Yeah, that's it. They don't want to believe you're a liar. If this is a romantic partner, they might think you have someone else, but they don't want to believe you have someone else. Because you still show up or you pay the bills, you know what I mean? Or you still spend time on them. Oh, Aquarius. And again, if this isn't like between two jobs or two people or something like that, I go back to that housing thing where it's like you want to move and relocate and you're not telling anyone. And maybe they're suspecting you are, like your family comes over and they see a couple of things missing and you're like, oh, I just threw that out. I'm trying to clear my space. Tower to the Lover's card. You know that whoever this is, when they find out that you're moving on to another job or another relationship or another living situation or you're selling the house, you know, at least you're assuming that once you make the choice to say it, because the Lover's card is Gemini, that rules communication. Once you make the choice to say it, all shit's going to hit the fan, or at least that's what you're fearing. And that's why right now you're keeping it to yourself. And is that theoretically a lie? It is. In the eyes of the universe, it's a lie. Because this person or all these people, they don't all know what you're planning. So what are you supposed to do about it? And then we'll get you 3 cards of advice. I'm being told not to take that, but I'll look at it. 5 of Swords. Yeah. What are you supposed to do about this? One more shuffle here. Thank you. What are you supposed to do? Temperance, the Devil, the Emperor, oof. Hangman, Two of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. If this was being done to you, would you like it? See it from another perspective. If you were being juggled, would you appreciate that? If you were making future plans with your boss, or I'm sorry, your employee was making future plans with you, and meanwhile entertaining, you know, employment opportunities from competitors, how would you feel? If your person was coming home to you every night and talking about next year we're going to go on vacation here and adopt a dog, and meanwhile they're seeing someone else when they're not home, like how would you feel? They're like entertaining someone else or building a life with someone else. How would you feel? So this is asking you, I asked what you're supposed to do about it. You're supposed to put yourself in the shoes of the person that you are actively or knowingly deceiving or lying to see how would you like it and how would you feel? How emotionally disruptive would that be to you when that moment of truth comes through? The longer this continues, the harder it's going to be on this person. I think that's what Source is trying to say to you. Like you have the opportunity here to quell a pain or ease a pain by just being honest. Let's get you 3 cards of advice. Three cards of advice here for Aquarius, please. We had a flipper here. 4 of Swords. Meditate, contemplate, think about this. That's the 3rd deacon in Libra. Is this just or fair? Is this the best that you can do? One more shuffle here. Thank you. 7 of Pentacles and the Devil. King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Is this a just, fair, and right thing to do? And how much longer are you willing to betray this person by engaging in this behavior? As opposed to just saying, I don't know if we're going on vacation next year. Because the truth is, I don't know if I'm going to be in a relationship with you next year. Now, look, that's 10 or 15 seconds of insane courage. But at some point in time, if there is no future vacation, and I mean, you're looking to actively cheat on this person or replace this person, at what is a good time to tell them? Like, isn't sooner better than later? So that 4 Swords, 7 Pentacles and the Devil is like for you to go within and contemplate, how much longer are you going to propagate this lie or this bad behavior? Like, how much longer are you going to continue doing this? And what do you think is going to be the result? I think this person would have appreciated you telling them this now, as opposed to 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, or, you know, I don't know how long you've been engaging in this. That's what I have for you. Again, if it's not your reading, I'm so sorry. But, you know, don't accept it. Cup it. Don't accept it if it's not your reading. But if it is, just Source wants you to look within and be honest with yourself about it. That is what I have for you, Aquarius, at this time. If you like that message, it resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. Until I read for you again, good luck with this. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace. Hello, Pisces. I hope that you're well. We're coming into your season soon. Today's February 14th. So by the end of this week, we'll be rolling into your season. So if you're celebrating your birthday in the super, super early days of Pisces season, I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday. For now, let's see what Source wants you to focus on. Keep in mind, I'm a Gemini. My ruling planet, Mercury, is in retrograde. So if I stumble, fumble, talk too fast, talk too slow, just please forgive me ahead of time. Okay, ideas. Source wants you to focus on ideas. 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Sorry, 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. See, that's Mercury retrograde for you. Why ideas? Why do you want Pisces to focus on ideas at this time? Just saw the Knight of Wands, because change is coming in quickly. Okay. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, Temperance, and the 9 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Fool. Told you change. King of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Seven of Swords, Eight of Cups, Three of Cups. Okay. Because you're moving on from a situation, environment, or a connection that's no longer aligned to who you are or who you're becoming. Okay. So it's on the close, it's on the exit. But it's time for you to get some fresh ideas and get creative here about what does life look like after this job or this living situation or this person. Because if you don't figure it out now and get some really good ideas about where you want to live and what you want to do and who you want to become and who you truly are as a person, you're going to repeat the same thing. You make a full loop. And I'm not saying you're going back to that person or back to that job, but you're going to wake up a year from now and be like, holy shit, I just did it all over again with a similar situation, environment, or connection. Queen of Swords to the Seven of Swords. Yeah, that's that realization of, holy shit, I made the same freaking mistake. So, time to get creative. Ideas. Tell me about the Page of Cups. One more shuffle here. Thank you. How do you want to make money? How do you want to spend money? Chariot. How do you want to move forward? Four of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, the Sun card. Yeah, get some new creative ideas. How you can make money, how you can spend money, how you can save money. It's time for you to get creative. The old way of doing things won't be prosperous for you. It's time to think a little outside of the box. You know, if that's a living situation, what does your ideal living situation look like? And I said ideal. This isn't like I'm going to colonize the, Pluto or the planet Mars, and talking about realistic, realistic ideas here. Otherwise, you end up living in the same town. It's like post-divorce, there's two different kinds of people, I always say. And I don't know if you're going through a divorce. this is the example I'm being given. You can disengage from your partner and move forward towards, separation and divorce. And then you could end up living in the same town with the same people, probably run into the ex with their new person, maybe live in the house that the two of you occupy together, be surrounded by those memories, and kind of get stuck in the same energetic cycle. You know what I mean? Same place, same tchotchkes, same furniture, sleeping on the same mattress you slept on with them. You get my drift. Go to the same store, or you can move move to somewhere entirely different. It's an idea. It's not saying you have to do it tomorrow or that you even have the money to do it tomorrow. It's not what it's saying. It's just saying to come up with the idea, like a vision board, like an actual vision board. I used to have one there. I took it down when I had to repair that wall behind the camera, but so now it's on the desk. But I have a vision board. It doesn't mean I'm going to attain all of those goals and make all of those visions a reality tomorrow, but they give me something to work towards. This is the type of house I want. This is the location I want in. This is the kind of car I want to look at when I look out my window, because I'm tired of looking at my 2011 rust box Jeep. It's literally all rusted on one side. There's like 250,000 miles on it. So I created a vision board. This is what I'm working towards. This is why I'm sacrificing. This is what I'm saving. This is the cruise ship. I want to take a cruise. It might take me 6 years to save the money to go on the cruise, but that's something I want in my future. So I have to create, a little cruise fund. And even if that means saving $2 a week, it's being dedicated. It's coming up with a creative idea of what I want the next chapter to look like. I'm just using myself as an example. Clipping pictures from a magazine or printing them out online. I create an actual vision board. Now, some people do it on their phone, and there's apps that you can do that. But I wanted something that I could look at every day. I used to have it in my bedroom. I moved it to my bathroom. Then I moved it up here because I spend most of my time working up here. But this is what I'm sacrificing for. These things. This is what I'm working for. And I want to make them a reality. They're not just ideas. So they're practical ideas. I'm not looking to move into a mansion. I actually want a house smaller than this, so I spend less money maintaining it. So that's the idea here of the message, is for you to start thinking creatively, and then start saving money or generating money so you can make it a reality, because odds are most of our ideas need money. You want to buy a house, you need money. You want to buy a car, you need money. You want, if your dream or idea here is I want to lose weight, it might cost money. You know, you might have to buy better foods or different foods, maybe organic, cleaner foods. They cost money. You know, that's so, but you might have to save up for that. But I would just get an idea here of what you can do differently. Something you want to learn, do, move to, kind of car you want to drive. You don't have to live in the same location. You might have to for a couple of years. I mean, I left Tony 5.5 years ago. I'm still in the same town, not in the same house. Okay, we sold the marital home. But I run into him. And thank God we're good friends now after the fact. But I don't want to die in this town. We moved here in this town together to build a life together. That life together it's over. So am I 5.5 years still in this town? Yeah. I mean, to be realistic, my divorce was final like less than 2 years ago. But even if I look at it at 5.5 years, yeah, it's going to take me money take me money. It's going to take me money to move, but it's going to take me time also to save that money to be able to move. But I still have the idea of moving. I still have an idea where I'm moving to in terms of region of the world. I haven't quite figured out the town yet, but I know I want to be in the southern portion of the United States. I know I want to be close to the water. So I have all of the Gulf states and all of the Atlantic coast states to look at. But again, it's just having the idea. What type of house do you want? I want a very small 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom at the most, but I don't want anything big. I'd like it to be a little ranch, easy to maintain, not a lot of grass. I'd be happy if the yard was sand. Like, you know, I want an easier life, a less expensive life moving forward. It's an idea. It might take me 10 years to save the money to be able to make that move, but that's my goal. Or I could just repeat the past and stay here, but I had a new beginning. I have a new beginning in my life, and I'm going to make sure that this chapter is what I truly want it to be. And I think that's what Source is trying to say to you. So get creative. What's the Sun card for you? 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. What do you want to do? Again, make your money, spend your money. How do you want to live? Anything else Pisces needs to know? One more shuffle. Thank you. 4 of Wands, the Tower, and the Ace of Cups. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. The moment the ideas start rolling and you get serious, I mean, you get serious. You create a vision board, you manifest, you start saving the money, or you create the plan or strategy. Like this. But you have to get serious. You have to get serious. I remember I did a Pisces reading about 2 months ago for the subscribers, and a woman posted, oh, you make it sound so easy. You could just go on the cruise. You think we all have this money to travel? No, I know somebody who wanted to travel, and it took her several years to save money. I think 4 years, if I remember correctly, to save $600, $600 or $900. And that's relatively cheap for a cruise. I mean, it pays for all your food and all your drink and your lodging and all of that. But it took her like 4 years or 6 years to save the money. But that's what she wanted to do. She was recently divorced. She always wanted to go on a cruise. He never did. And she was like, I don't need a partner to go on a cruise. I want to go on my own. I want to have that experience. Took her a couple of years to save the money, but that was her idea. And the moment she started saying, I'm saving money, it started happening so quickly for her. Like, she ended up going on a better cruise than the one she thought she would only be able to afford. Things started happening for her. I remember at one point she won a scratch-off ticket of like $500, and she's like, oh my God, I could upgrade now the room. When I eventually go to be able to upgrade the room, because I just won $500 on a scratch-off ticket. Oh geez, did you just hear that outside? Like something fell over? Yes, that's how shocking it's going to be. I take everything in the reading as a message. The moment you start creating that idea and creating a plan and working towards it, the universe is just going to start dropping things in your way to help you achieve that goal quicker. But that dream starts with an idea, and it's time for you to create the idea. Create the idea, and then bring that idea, bring that dream to life. I think the universe is just going to start dropping opportunities on you. And you're going to be like, holy shit, I didn't know it was going to be this fast. I didn't know it was going to happen this soon. And again, even if it's 2 or 3 years, it still would be a lot faster if you did nothing. Imagine if you did nothing and you woke up 3 years from now in the exact same spot, in the exact same situation, doing the exact same shit. Who would have wasted 3 years? You have this new opportunity. You're free of whomever this other person was. Don't wake up from 3 years from now and be living the exact same way. I mean, you could, but you don't have to. I think that's the message. So get inspirational, get creative, come up with some fun things and some ideas. What do you want your next chapter to look like? Your advice. 7 of Pentacles. Think about it. 6 of Cups, about the past, and what do you want differently than the past? Because the past is done and over with. You don't have to repeat it. You don't have to live there anymore. You don't have to be that person anymore. If you've been a blonde your whole life, you can become a brunette. You're a brunette, you could become a redhead. You're a redhead, you could become a blonde. Like, you don't have to dress that way anymore. You don't have to live there anymore. Again, is it going to happen overnight? No. But if you get creative and you get an idea and you create that plan, it's guaranteed success that you're going to move forward in a different way, show up in a different way, and make that dream a reality. The past is over with. Leave it there. It's time for you to reinvent yourself. So get creative with doing that. That is what I have for you, Pisces. That's what the universe or source wants you to focus on at this time. If you like that message, resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. And until I read for you again, my dear, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, hello, all the time traveler collective now. I'm going to do a reading for all of you, all of us. And then I'll upload this video and then I'll go get something to eat. Okay, I think we're doing Italian tonight. So let's see. What does Source want all of us to focus on at this time? What would you like the collective time traveler members to focus on at this time? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Romantic connections. If you're not into romance, this particular reading just isn't for you. Bottom of the deck, we have betrayal. Okay. I didn't do a bottom of the deck for anyone. I just happened to look at that. But let's take a look at romantic connection here for the collective. This is something they want us to focus on. Why is romantic connection what you want the collective time traveler members to focus on? Why is this something that you want us to focus on? One more shuffle here. Thank you. King of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Swords, 10 of Cups, the Sun, and the 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, Knight of Pentacles here. If you're wondering why I'm slowing down, it's Mercury retrograde. My ruling planet is now in pre-shadow, so I'm a little slow here. Sorry about that. Sometimes I talk too fast, sometimes too slow. So, collective. You're going to have an opportunity here, either with your existing romantic connection or a new one. I don't know whether you're single or partnered, so you're going to have to take the message how it resonates to you. You're going to have the opportunity to repeat the type of relationship you're currently in or the type of relationship you just came out of. What I mean by that, you can continue the cycle with your person and leave nothing unchanged. Don't address anything. Don't have any difficult conversations. Don't, confront any betrayal on your part or their part. Don't have any uncomfortable, conversations. Just keep rolling the way you are. You might have an opportunity to reconnect with someone here. And you could just pretend betrayal didn't happen, or 3 of Swords didn't happen, or we're not going to talk about what happened back there. We're just going to roll forward. Not going to address what transpired. Or we have a new connection here, and we're just going to go with the motions. I feel like all 3 of those are very bad. I don't know why I get that feeling. I get like doing all 3 of those are very bad. Like entering a new connection and just kind of like going with the flow. Existing in the current connection when there's issues, but not addressing the issues. Like, I don't think that's a good thing. It's a feeling I'm getting here. It's like, do you want to do it that way? That 7 of Pentacles. If you're going to reconnect with this person, Are we not going to address what happened? Are we just going to pretend that everything's okay? So again, I don't know where you are in terms of your romantic connection. If you've exited one, or you want reconnection, or you're currently in one and maybe there's some issues, or you're single, and again, this would be like a new connection here entering your life soon. There's something here about figuring out what it is that you want in a romantic connection, and not in a fantasy way, in an ideal way. Tell me about the cycle. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The cycle, Temperance, the Two of Cups, and a Nine of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, this is repeating a cycle, either with a current partner, or like I said, a past person coming back, or even if this is a new partnership, this would be repeating the cycle. We either can heal a pattern, a romantic pattern that we have, or I should say a pattern we have in romantic relationships. We're either going to heal it or we're going to repeat it, either with the past person, the current person, or the new person. That's really the message here. It's not so much about them, are they coming back, or the current person, or even the new person. It's about us. Are we going to heal a pattern? What's the pattern? What's the pattern that you want us to look at? What is the pattern you want us to look at? We have a flipper, Page of Pentacles. What is the pattern here? Something we're supposed to learn. One more shuffle. Thank you. Page of Pentacles, King of Cups, and the Chariot. Bottom of the deck, the Lovers. Okay. What is the pattern? This is going to sound really terrible. I'm so sorry. A couple of different messages here. Some of us, okay, I'm not going to point my finger at you. Some of us enter connections with someone that we feel or we want to believe is emotionally balanced, but they really aren't. They're emotionally immature. Some of us are, in a connection, or, entering a connection. Like for some of us, the pattern is we enter romantic connections with people we perceive to be emotionally balanced, and they're not, emotionally immature. Second message. Some of us enter connections with someone before we really know them well, and they actually have a lot of fluctuating emotional moods. They don't have control of their emotions. And it doesn't mean that they're immature. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to say bipolar. I'm not a doctor, but this is fluctuating. Like one day I'm solid in that pentacle energy, and then the next day, like not so much. So again, I think we too quickly move forward into connection, either hoping that this person is a King or Queen of Cups or something like that, that they're emotionally balanced or emotionally steady or emotionally available or emotionally consistent. And they're not. They're in Page energy. They have a lot to learn. Our current person, the past person, or the new person, they have a lot to learn. And what we were supposed to learn was we rushed too quickly into a connection without assessing the person properly, without seeing them for what they are. And for some of us, we enter connections with people because we think they have great potential. But we don't look at, again, what they really are in that moment, what their capability is, what's their capacity for growth. We all grow. It doesn't mean that this person has to come in as an emperor or empress, right? We all grow and evolve. But what is this person's capacity to grow or evolve? And that's the Ace of Swords. So if this is, lovers to that romantic connection. Let's say this is someone new that you're about to meet that's entering your path. There's something here about you taking it slow. King of Pentacles to the Two of Pentacles. Take it slow. Don't be so quick. And I'm not telling you to judge this person, but the message here is to assess them. Make sure you're seeing them clearly. Make sure you're having the difficult conversations. See how they react when they're stuck in traffic for an hour, or the internet connection goes down, or the waiter brings them the wrong food. Are they irate? Are they emotionally consistent? How do they show love? How do they express love? Are they even capable of doing that? How open are they to learning something new? Are they closed off? Are they rigid? These are all things we learn about a person when we take our time to get to know them. So if you're single, you have a new person on path, it's going to be important that you take your time and have absolute clarity. You're going to have to really assess. Seven of Pentacles, that Ten of Cups and the Sun. Is this really someone that I can see spending my life with? Can we really grow? Is this person capable of growing? The Sun card is a card of growth. Because you're growing, you're evolving. Are they? Because if they're not capable of if they're not capable of, sorry, Mercury retrograde. If they're not capable of growing, then how are they going to be capable of creating and maintaining the Ten of Cups with you? Because if you're here in terms of growth and they're here, the two of you have two totally different visions or ideas of what the Ten of Cups looks like. A child sees the Ten of Cups as, you know, watching TV all day, or being on the phone or a tablet, or, you know, eating M&Ms for breakfast. It's not what an adult does. Although I have been subject to eat M&Ms for breakfast, but not every day. Okay. But yeah, you're going to have a completely different idea of what is the Ten of Cups. So there's something here about taking your time to get to know the person, not in a judgy way, but in a careful way. Make sure that they're truly compatible to you. And the Lovers is Gemini energy. It's ruled by Mercury. Having some conversations to get to know them. What are their long-term visions and their long-term goals? What do they see for, or how do they define a committed partnership? Some uncomfortable conversations, and I'm not saying you need to have it on the first date, but at some point in time you do need to have them before you get in too deep. And that's what I mean by taking it slow. If you're currently in a partnership with someone, you need to be honest with yourself. Does this person actually make you happy? Do you even want this person at the end of the day? Or do you feel like it's a struggle with this person? Are you always wounded? Are you growing at a speed and they're having difficulty catching up? Are they not emotionally balanced? Are you only in it because of time served? Because this is not a jail sentence, honey. That I have to stay in it because I've been married to them for 15 years. That's not a reason to endure a relationship with no growth, or endure you wanting to do something and they don't. That would keep you very small. That would limit the potential of what a romantic partnership could be like in your life. So are you only staying in it for time served? Is this person capable of going where you want to go in the relationship? Are they, again, emotionally balanced? Are they investing in the connection as much as you are? Are they capable of reciprocity? Some difficult conversations need to be had. Are we both on the same page? Do we both want the same thing? What does long-term commitment look like to you? Because this is what it looks like to me. If this is someone from the past that you want to bring back, or you have the opportunity in the next couple of weeks to reconnect with, you need to have some conversations about what the hell took place back there. Something was off balance. Something caused an ending. Something caused someone here to feel like the wounded warrior. Before we proceed forward and pretend everything is fine, we need to pause and think about, do we want to reinvest in this partnership? So I'm going to get you 3 cards of advice now, okay? For each of the groups here. Yeah, don't betray yourself. That's the betrayal card. Don't betray yourself by rushing into a relationship just because you don't want to be alone. Because being alone is better than being in a relationship where you actually feel lonely. So don't betray yourself, because the right partner is out there for you. Don't betray yourself by jumping quick into a relationship just because you don't want to be lonely. Okay. If you're currently in a connection, don't betray yourself by staying in it because of time served, or you think in time this person will grow up. You need to have some honest conversations with them, and possibly even yourself, about this person's potential, or the potential of this relationship to really go the distance. If nothing changed in this relationship, absolutely nothing changed, and you woke up 10 years from now and everything was exactly the same, would you be happy? Would you truly be Sun card to the 10 of Cups? Probably not. And if this is someone you're thinking about going back to, and there was a betrayal, you did something, they did something, this needs to be addressed. This needs to be discussed. Otherwise, you're betraying the future partnership here that you're trying to create with this person. You're already starting it on shaky ground because this wasn't, this wasn't addressed. So let's get you 3 cards of advice. For the collective here, where they're single and this is a new person, 3 cards of advice. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Strength, Empress, and the Knight of Cups. For those of you where it's an existing partnership. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Cups, 6 of Wands, 3 of Swords. And if it's a past partnership, one more shuffle here. Thank you. Judgment. Page of Swords. 8 of Wands. Bottom of the deck. The Magician. Communication. Communication is key here in romantic partnerships. If it's a new person, hold yourself back. Know your value. Know your worth. Don't be charmed by how they look or how they sound or how they smell. I mean, the Knight of Cups, whether it's masculine or feminine, that's sometimes known as like the knight in shining armor. Don't be wooed. You're an emperor or empress here, so hold back and observe. Take your time. In a current relationship, Page of Cups, 6 of Wands, and the 3 of Swords. Something here needs to be discussed. We can't wash over what's continually happening here with apologies. We need to make sure we're on the same page. It's the only way to have victory. Otherwise, you're going to consistently exist in a romantic partnership that is heartbreaking to you, because it's not moving forward or not growing, in the direction that you want it to. And we can't just skip over the 3 of Swords all the time with a little bit of a little apology there, or a kiss and make up, kind of thing. There's something here about if we want real victory and we want to move forward, we need to have that difficult conversation. And for those of you where you're making that judgment call to rebirth a past connection, we definitely need a conversation here before we move forward. Before we move forward too quickly, we need to talk about what happened back there. Otherwise, one, if not both of you, is going to be mentally restless. And I don't know. Again, I feel like the connection might crash and burn. So the key here are difficult or maybe uncomfortable conversations here in the Magician energy with these various types of partnerships here. Again, I don't know if you're partnered or looking to reconnect or you're looking for someone new, but that's the only way to almost guarantee structure and stability in a relationship. And that was a lesson all of us had to learn. And I feel like if we don't learn it, if we don't do it, and if we rush in, we're going to repeat a very, very toxic pattern. All right, that's what I have for you, collective. That's what Source wants all of us to focus on at this time. If you like this message or any of these messages and you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. Thank you once again for being a member and a time traveler. And thank you for, if you're watching this on Valentine's Day, I'm recording this on Valentine's Day. So whether you're single or partnered, thank you for spending part of your holiday with me. And I wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. And it's Valentine's Day, and we're talking about romantic connection. All right, so I read for you again, my dears. I'm sending you light, love, and peace.